Okay, some reason or other we have a large blue map right now. How did that happen? Did someone put a giant aura on it?
No.
There's a 2,000-foot aura. I'm gonna take that off. Not sure how that happened, but okay. So things have got real quiet since we were last together. Then you guys were out or still are out on the island, unless you just want to say you're back on the shore, unless you want to look for something. But you were out on the island there and had taken out the possessed, I guess is the word we could use for them, people who were from the village. They were coming back as some of the soldiers and stuff that you had fought in Dirt Creek. After battling all of those and you saved the few that were down, actually not the few, the dozen or 2 dozen down on the beach, which the ghosts were all hungrily heading towards, and Nasir blocked that off by healing them and bringing them out of their poisoning, so they were able to fight off the possessions. And that's where we are. Things get quiet. Does anybody have anything they wanted to check out on that island, or?
Oh, thought we'd done all that last time.
I think so too. I just want to make sure before I close the book on that.
Yeah,
I think-
giant sundial and all that.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we did some investigation. There was really no loot. The only thing of value there was the armor from the Neverwinter Guard, which we sent back with the knight that we rescued from the webbing. So he has armor back. I think Rakir said he wanted to harvest poison from the giant spider.
Probably.
And you said we also basically went. You assumed we went to the docks and basically took out the other giant spider there. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I'm
or
assuming
it took off into the woods or something.
Yeah. If possible, I assume Rakir would probably want to try and harvest from it too, since he seems to like poison.
It's his thing now.
Yeah.
You and Rakir are poison crazy lately.
So we'll see what he's doing that for today, since he's not with us right now. So he's off in the bit dealing with that, and then also trying to help put together some defenses to make it sound like he's doing something a little more better than poisoning. So he's helping rebuild defenses along the gates and stuff.
Yeah, so basically we'd want to call the refugees in and say they can come back to town now that everything's been sort of resecured. Hopefully everyone can get rebuilding.
So yeah, it doesn't take long. It was only a mile down the road. So they're within. You send someone out. It takes a couple of minutes, and they're there within like a half hour. All of them, as they come meandering back into town.
So
a few people start coming out of houses and stuff that have been like just sort of sneaking out. The people that took shelter in place, and so you can start to see a few people around town. But there's not many. You don't think this town has more than 100 people in it right now?
I think Gordon's priority would be to get those kids back and raised if we can. Not that has to be anyone else's priority, but I think it would be his.
Yeah, get him out of that bag.
So that's about 600 gold, right?
Oh, for the raising the kids.
Yeah.
Which one? Which spell is it?
Oh no,
it's
more.
like 500 a piece.
Yeah, so we need raised dead at this point. So we also need someone who can cast it. Unfortunately, do we?
James implied the group
Biggie.
of clerics there would most likely be able to do that.
So
Yeah.
yes, what you're finding in town then is there is a cleric, who's actually a female halfling, I think is what we said from last time, who's a cleric of light, who's in town, but her specialty is fighting the undead. There is also the cleric that came with you, Diggle. And then there is the cleric who just came into town, who you guys sort of saved, who was being chased by all the folks. And that was a high-level cleric, but he usually is pretty much a drunk and doesn't have any spells ready.
Yeah, Brian Hand was probably not the best choice. Does basically the other halfling have the ability to cast 5th level spells?
I'm gonna double check.
If the costing is a factor, as much as I wouldn't be thrilled about it because spells are expensive, Orton would pay the 1,000 gold pieces if
No,
necessary.
Mal's paying half because he wouldn't
Yeah,
get the bag.
Thorn would
I think the only-
definitely throw stuff in,
Yeah, the only cost problem was just because you have to have a gem of some sort, like a 500 gold
I think
diamond or something.
that's the bigger problem. Is basically do we? It's not do we have the money? I'm sure we do. Do we actually even have the actual like components?
I feel like if we did it on us, we have the ability to give someone the money to get it.
And need to do it pretty quickly. Like
Yes.
within 9
Okay,
days.
yes. Marigold can do this.
Awesome.
Who is Marigold?
Marigold is this halfling cleric who has been brought down into town. She's a follower of the light god. I can't remember their name off the top of my head.
The Pelor.
No, I'll bring it up real quick.
Hi, Mary.
Marigold is an interesting character. She's also been in charge so far of getting the tower built, rebuilt, and getting defenses in place. So she's more like a war cleric, a gruff halfling, priest of Lathander. That's the word, the Morning Lord. And you can, by just looking at her, you can tell that she has a bit of level dips in Paladin somewhere along the way. Now that she's coming back. Now, right now, she's like in night clothes and everything, but you guys get back into town and she goes and gets her gear back out of her house, cursing about why there wasn't any damn alarms going off so she could get dressed. And she has full plate helm armor, magic items glowing away type of thing.
Okay. I guess I was just confused because Brian Hand said that there was actually, well, when we killed Brian Hand's friend, I assumed that was the local cleric who had taken over. So, but there are two clerics then.
There was a couple.
Okay, gotcha.
And my guess would be, since there are a lot of clerics, they would know where to find the gem
Yeah.
that they need.
There's not going to be a problem in that. So they're working together, and people are digging through coffers, trying to find the gems and stuff, and they're going to come up with the gems.
How many folks want to kick in on the grand?
Well, they'll cover the gems, and that's just going to be $2,000, right? I mean, the grand right there. So that's the majority of it. I don't think you'll cover it.
All right.
Okay. And these are all settlers. They've got money, or at least stored away stuff.
Yes. Are they going to bring back the possessed people as well?
Well, that would be a lot, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yes. They're kids, but every one of these people could be basically a father, a mother, a sister, a brother, a son, a daughter.
Yep, they're going to work on it. So yeah, I guess it'll take some time though.
Orden would like to track down the parents.
You guys, I'll be right back. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
And
Is
give.
that? Oh, here we
As
go.
here.
one leaves, another one joins.
Hey,
Hey, buddy.
it's like Clark Kent and Superman.
I'm gonna pull 50 gold off my sheet. Orden would like to find the parents and give them a little something to help them. I'm assuming if they have two, if the kids aren't siblings, then 25 to each, which I would assume is a pretty fair sum for people of this socioeconomic status.
Yeah, it's probably half a year's income or something.
Cool.
What is the
I'll say
wage
something
on?
to the effect of, I know this doesn't make up for anything, but I mean, maybe it'll help you raise the kids once they are raised. So to speak.
Untrained hireling, 2 silver a day. Yeah. So yes, they will put it towards. One of them is very. What's the word I'm looking for? Very good parent. They're looking for maybe going to get a. I cannot use words today. Apprenticeship. There's the word I'm looking for. So one of them is going to get apprenticeship for their son. They're all excited about it. Now they can get apprenticeship with the 50 gold and get him in to school. And the other one is maybe they can marry their daughter off finally. That's what they're going to do with. Or 25. Yeah.
Apiece, yeah. That will assuage his guilt a little bit anyway.
So Marigold's trying to cheer you guys up. She's telling you that it's a shitty thing that's happened. These evil people do things. There's a lot of people that have died here. We can't raise them all, unfortunately. But the town has decided that the children have to be the ones that have to come back. And anybody who else has funds and stuff can try to get the other ones raised. But they've lost quite a few people during this. So what they're telling you about the town, though, is that the reason it's what you're hearing about from her is the only reason they're here now. She says Never Ember sent them down with troops. The rest of them are coming soon. And they want to hold the area because it's a hot trade corner. I mean, it's the only way between Waterdeep and Neverwinter by land, unless you go way inland. And then it's near Saltmarsh, and it's near the road that heads out across the plain. So it's a really good spot. But unfortunately, there's no protection here. And so everybody keeps getting slaughtered. So now they keep coming down here, and they're trying to build out these walls. And that's where they're at now. And then these assholes showed up.
After reading that, I was going to ask, does anyone in the party remember, like, is Saltmarsh overstocked with like militia or whatever? Is there any? Do we know any towns that someone might want to make decent money to
No,
protect?
Saltmarsh had to hire mercenaries, I
The
believe.
halfling village.
Yes, they were pulling during the Sahuagin fight. They were pulling as many people as they could from the surrounding areas.
James, you said some of these were kind of rough and tumble. If we were to get the halflings to devote some time here to do the work, not that halflings can't fight, but would those people then take up arms to serve as some sort of militia?
I see what you're saying. Yes. So what you're finding about the town is that half the people in the town are new folks who showed up here. There's a settlers camp just outside. They haven't even took over houses. Anybody wants one, you can just walk around and pick a house that's empty and move in, and then fix it. Where was I going with the question on that one? So, the ones that have been here for a while, and there's like only 2 or 3 that were here when you guys came through a year ago, who you actually have met. Those folks have like secret basements and tunnels and bolt holes and stuff that they go into when shit goes bad. So they could be able to fight if they had some, but most of them they're shady folks. I mean, they would have left if they were good folks, and
Yeah.
they're hanging out here just trying to take and grab what they can. They're not really looking to help each other out. So until we get a strong government here, like Never Ember or somewhere from down south.
Which I'm assuming a lot of them would be very opposed to.
Yes, because now there'll be law in this lawless little town.
Right.
So that's the other part of this area. The issue is Never Ember is interested in this area, but also Waterdeep is close, and you guys are sort of in the middle. So there's sort of a push-pull going on between the two.
And who is Neverember?
Never Ember is the, I don't want to use the king, but I guess we'll call him king of Neverwinter, which is the big city up north of you. He once upon a time was the head of, this is all common knowledge, of Waterdeep. And then they had sort of a political voting coup, and the hero from times past came back and took over the city again, and he got booted out.
So if they're, sorry,
No.
if they're kind of at odds over the city, it's a fair assumption that they're going to be taken care of one way or the other soon.
Somewhat, yeah. Now there's someone showing interest in them.
Well, this area, like I said, this area is obviously too valuable to basically leave basically untaken. So some place will eventually fortify it and then station enough troops here to make it profitable. So that if there's money to be had, someone will deal with it.
Yeah, the only concern is if this gets highly in military, which is what some of the people from Saltmarsh have mentioned before to you, is that they worry about that this place might start telling them what to do over in Saltmarsh if this becomes a big military base.
I feel like
It'd be
it
good
might
for
behoove
Saltmarsh
us
get
to.
in.
It might behoove the party to befriend people that are in positions of authority or power now, just so we're like, hey, don't forget, we helped you guys out. Just so hopefully, if things go south in the future, we can use that to lean on them a bit,
But how
That makes sense.
trustworthy are these types?
Well, I would say the ones that were here before the soldiers got here, not that trustworthy. But the ones that have come in here from the newest group, they might be. You could hope for the best. They seem nice enough folks, though, that you met on the side of the river. Those folks seem pretty normal.
Okay. So that might be the morality crew.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Saltmarsh should be interested if that's a possibility they could get outforced and then have a big force above them if they step in now.
Yes, I believe Saltmarsh would like to have some influence in this town, since it's really important to their future development. However, I believe Saltmarsh is occupied currently with rebuilding, so they may not have the ability to do so. If you do recall, Saltmarsh is not much better than Lelon currently.
Sounds like construction's at a premium. Good thing the mansion's built.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Got that done in time.
That's right.
All right.
Are we housing people in that mansion?
No. But Meta, what's the last thing you recall?
Well, no. I mean, I'm just kind of. What are we talking about exactly? Because I've heard of talks of gold being used to resurrect people.
Oh,
So-
they needed some diamonds, is what it was. 500 gold piece diamonds for each child to be raised.
Ah,
That's what they were looking for. But the town came up with that. I think we were you were here last game though. Yeah, he was
yeah,
here
it was
last
your
one.
last game. I just wasn't here for the beginning of this one.
That's all right.
I think 2 games ago is the one that he missed, and that was the one two kids died on our watch. We couldn't
No, I
save
was
them
there
in
for
time.
that one as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what
Yep.
we're talking about.
I think it was a nonsense one that he missed. Why can I not find my notes?
Oh, okay, that's what we were talking about.
There it is. Okay, so finally I had to go find my notes on this damn town. So I'll start putting these in the chat, so that might help a bit. So the names. So the town council, what you can call this town council, consists of, and I'll just write them out down as I go in. There's Shaylin Lighthammer, who some people call Shouter. She's in charge of the building and so forth, the construction side. And I think I got the name wrong for. It's not Marigold. It's damn it, it's that Shouter woman.
And she's the dwarf, right?
I think so. Hold on, let me make sure I'm getting everybody's names.
I think that's what you mentioned last time. Yeah, Shalane Lighthammer, right?
Yeah,
Female dwarven leader of the reconstruction.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that if that's the same thing as the cleric. Hold on.
With a name like Lighthammer, that seems likely.
Nope, just a weird coincidence. All right, thank God. Okay, so I don't have to worry about that name. So that one's right.
What's the town's name?
Leilon,
Oh
Leilon.
yeah.
L-O-N.
L-E-I-L.
So Shalane is basically the one of the council.
Yes.
You know who's got really deep pockets in Saltmarsh, even with the other construction going on? If we could appeal to our patron at the university, they might devote some money to this, which would give give Saltmarsh a stake in this town, at least a bit.
A satellite campus.
But funny you should mention that, because if we wish to curry favor with them, we have a task we should be heading to very shortly, or else they'll perhaps be disappointed.
No,
I don't
I 100% agree. If we can do that and take it back, and then just kind of add on, hey, as partial payment, so to speak, or even just as a favor, it would behoove the town to have a stake in Leilon.
I
Perhaps.
think if we're worried about the people of Saltmarsh and the people of this town, I don't think trying to give one necessarily, essentially lordship over the other, would be the best way of doing that.
I don't think that's what I suggested. But having a relationship with them would certainly behoove us.
And having someone in town that's partial to Saltmarsh would help Saltmarsh as well.
The shizzle.
Oh, look, are we still on the city map? I'm sorry. Let me get you on the city map at least.
Oh, I'm on
Oh.
the island still.
Let's
Oh,
get you
we-
off of that.
Were you typing all this on the city map?
No, I'm typing it in my notes and I'm going to paste it into the
Gotcha.
other one. So this is a smaller version of the Leilon map.
Orton, how would we get the university to come down here? I mean, is this like an extra magical? I guess they've got some really old stones.
I'm not sure. I'm just throwing shit against the wall, see what sticks.
Oh, that's gross.
It might be
Want a dart?
possible to get some. If we're worried about keeping peace, it might be possible to get some. To call upon members of the Burning Dawn. But given how. Well, given our recent encounters with members of the Burning Dawn, I don't know if that's such a great idea.
Yeah, I think they're the burning gone. Like I'd say that they're kind of
Yes,
not
we have.
really on that right page.
Indeed.
Oh, and surely they're still around up in Neverwinter.
Perhaps, but we definitely have a date to kill a few more of them that have turned to the voice below.
What's the large central structure?
So that is on a hill, and it is I will call it a wizard's tower, but it's all broken apart. It's been destroyed, and that's what looks like they're rebuilding it. There's actual
Oh.
structure things going on it and scaffolding on it.
Orton, look! They've got a satellite campus already. Perfect.
Oh, I thought that was basically a military tower up in the middle.
It looks like what they're turning it into.
Gotcha.
That's the tower. They said that every time they start building that, it's something. Everything starts fucking going weird.
That was a lot of base.
Sorry, I'm on a different laptop. My other one died.
Okay, it's all right. I'm gonna turn you down though. Okay. There you are. All right, so things that are still in town. The other weird little building that the icon is right next to, that is the Temple of Lathander, which Marigold is trying to get rebuilt.
Over here.
No, right where you guys, the party icon's next to it.
Oh, right. Oh, cool.
The
Okay.
funky looking building there. Okay, apparently got all the people. Sorry. And then Sergeant Kirk, who we had a great name for Sergeant Kirk. What was it? He was the guy that kept running away. Surrender. That was the name.
Yeah, surrender.
And human fighter for Neverwinter. Okay, finally I can put all this in there. Sorry about that. Most of these adventures usually put this all in one little area, but this one didn't, so I had to go hunting through stuff to go find it all. Dwarf, not Dward. So Mish he's in charge of reorganizing the fishermen. He's a tradesman. He's an elf. He's got 500 years experience, and he's trying to get everything. He seems to know pretty much everything there is to know about fishing and milling and everything else, that human society does. And he's trying to get the fishermen's reorganized and get going again just so they can feed the city. So he's part of the town council. Shaylin Lighthammer, the one they call Shouter, she's the one trying to rebuild the tower and the walls and so forth. There's a bit of a power struggle between her and the other female, who's the female cleric halfling, who sort of thinks that she's in charge. And so she thinks that so they give a lot of duplicate orders as they're fighting things out between them.
They worship different gods, I assume.
Yeah, absolutely. But they're different. One's not a cleric. Sorry. Shaylin is, I think she's just a fighter.
Oh, that's right.
Let's see.
You guys had just asked about that, and I remember Adam had said, "Oh, Lighthammer, that would make sense," and you were like, "Nope, total coincidence." So it's coming back though. I'm tracking.
It's also fun as they're stealing heavily from another published adventure, but changing the names to protect the guilty. All right. So, what would you guys like to do in this little town? There's a few things. There's a little town square that people are putting back together. That's this area with the well in the middle that's sort of near you. That's a little town square area. Fisheries, barge yards. There's really not much here. In fact, the only inn that you guys went to last time has been burned down since then. That's the one that's on the outside of town to the north. That's where you all stayed when you came into town. You didn't actually even stay in the proper part of the city. They're trying to put together an inn, but really there's not really a place here. You guys could just pick a building if you wanted to stay overnight.
Is there a yurt? Let's find a yurt. I like them.
I'm
What-
sorry, a yurt?
It's a round building.
What time of day is it, by the way? We didn't actually spend that much time fighting.
No, it's not even noon yet.
Do you think we
Is-
should? Do you think we should actually spend a little bit of time to rest and then basically continue moving?
That's right. We have to get down the Tribord Trail.
Yes,
need-
I don't think it's a bad idea to rest.
So we need to get to Crossroads Keep. The sooner we get there, the more time we'll have to plan.
Well, yeah, I am pretty tapped, but as long as we can get someplace and take a nap for a while, I'm good.
Yes, I assume it's going to take like another couple days to actually get to the Crossroads Keep from here, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so we'll be full on resources when we get there, presumably.
I'm going to switch maps and make sure that's a true statement.
So listen, is there anything we need to set in place in motion now here though before we go? I mean, we could have the halflings contacted to come maybe see if they would be willing to come help rebuild, and even homestead a home or two if they wanted to. We talked about having the Wizards Guild come in and look at the tower. That might give some Saltmarsh some area, but
It's a day.
ton of
It's
time.
50 miles.
Yeah, so about 2 days,
Yeah.
give or take. We can always you can always suggest that the Council here contact Saltmarsh and see if they can reach some kind of agreement.
Oh yeah, who's in charge?
I do not know who is in charge, but I believe that the Lighthammer woman believes she is.
They could, if we're all in agreement and we agree that it is in our best interests, they could essentially drop our names.
Well, they could let them know
That's
we saved them.
Right. I don't know how much of a stake we want here. But if we do, I think there's a definite avenue for that.
Well, if we look at the things that we talked about, I mean, yeah, this is a little better jumping off place. I mean, not that Saltmarsh is bad. That's where our mansion is, which is great, and I love that place. And thanks for the halflings for building that. But anyway, this is a great jumping off place for the couple places we talked about going. The mine, the trail, going up and finding that haunted place, whatever it was, where the guy sent the wizard guys. They had to, what was going on? Shit. Oh. Anyway. There's a lot going on.
Indeed, we've many options and not enough time for all of them, so we'll have to decide which is most important.
I think our job at the tower is the most important at the moment.
Agreed.
All right, so we're getting good with the wizards. They can take over this tower.
Yes. This tower seems mostly destroyed anyways.
So keep in mind, one of the things that is going to be, it is not currently a pressing concern, but will be in the future if we are not prepared, is we need to have these things constructed and ready for when things happen. And we still do not have the funding for that. So pursuing that would be an important goal, yes?
That's why I mentioned the mine.
Indeed.
And what was it you remembered, Brandon, about this town?
Oh, I know. We heard somewhere that every time people start rebuilding that tower in the middle of town, everything starts getting weird and funky around the town itself. And they just recently started reconstructing that tower.
That would probably intrigue the university in itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Thorn, if you're gonna stay here around, if you're gonna spend some time here today, Thorn would probably like to poke around that tower for a second.
Does anybody want to go with him, or are you good?
Sure.
You want to go on? You want to? Because it's only like about 10 in the morning. if you stayed here, because I don't know, what time did you want to leave? Did you want to leave on the same day, or do you want to leave tomorrow morning?
It's up to everybody else.
And
Thorn's a little off.
Did you just have a long rest? No.
Now, we just got done fighting. It's been like
Yeah,
I
so you would
wish
definitely have not
hours.
had a rest, because that
Yeah,
was
at
I
least a
planned
short
that one.
rest. Yeah, at least like a short rest and then take off, because again, we don't know what we're going to find when we get to the crossroads keep. So the more time we have, the more chance we'll be able basically to get a good deal together instead of scrambling.
When was the last time we've had a rest?
Like before you ever got to this town,
Yeah, wasn't it like before we got on the riverboat?
the wolves.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we have
Oh, yeah.
wolves. We just woke up from then.
Yeah, because you woke up, you blasted the wolves, and went back to sleep.
Yeah, that's right. Nice.
Can we start planning for a short rest here then, or should
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I need.
We
don't
definitely get a
apologize
short
for-
out of the way first, and then you can decide if you want to take a long one.
Gordon will utilize?
I mean, because how much time do we have until we have to get to that guy for the ambush? What, 2 days still?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have like a whole day to spare, if not maybe 2.
I agree with Adam. Sorry,
To get there as fast as possible.
Gordon agrees with you, Nasir, that we should leave sooner than later, but it can't hurt to spend a couple hours taking a breather and poking around that tower a minute.
I'll
I
check
agree.
out the wizard tower.
I agree. It is not so urgent that we cannot spend some time here. We should
Yeah.
not spend the entire day here, where we can make some distance.
No headway. I got that. All right. So we're taking a short rest then?
Yes.
All right. Heck yeah then.
I take it you and the more magically inclined will go investigate the tower. I think it might be useful to see what and who's still around here.
Agreed.
We're off to see the tower.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the tower then, right in the middle of the town, is this big rocky hill that everybody sort of ignores. All the houses face away from it. Nobody has windows that face towards it. The area is not being taken care of, weeds or anything. There's just weeds that just cover the whole thing. There is a hacked out trail now. You can tell it's somewhat fresh. That must have been a road once upon a time that winds its way up this little embankment. It's probably about trying to look at that picture. How guess what you tall it is? I'm guessing 4 stories, like 40 feet up, maybe. Looking at the buildings near it.
Like
But-
1, 2, yeah, about.
Above,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say about that.
So it's not a huge embankment. Then on top of that is a 4 or 5 story tall tower. You can't tell how much has been blasted away or fell apart. There's scaffolding up there. You don't see much motion going on about it now. As you start walking up, though, there are 2 guys pop out of the door at the bottom and start heading back down. 2 people you haven't seen before. And then about a moment later, when those 2 guys are about to talk to you, when they're about at your level coming down the road, a person pops out of the tower, which is unmistakable. You've only met a couple of times, but very unmistakable. It's I think his name was Kelladek, the Unspoken, and he was about a 7 foot tall, dusky-hued person from Kalimshan who was the resident wizard of Saltmarsh. He was also the one who
Okay.
was responsible for the creatures that were summoned by Sam Belay that swallowed Merrick and kidnapped Merrick. But he told you guys that he was paid. He had no idea who it was for, didn't really care.
Of course he'd be here.
Mal wave up to him.
Oh, yeah, could give a perception check then, Mal. It's way on up there.
That's performance.
Actually, insight. Insight. Nice!
Not
Damn.
but
Even still, 20 works. So as he sees you, looks over and you wave at him, and a hand goes up slowly, and you can tell by the look on his face that he's just not happy to see you at all. It's like, this is not what he was hoping to have happen today. It's like, really? And this too?
What
And
you
so
doing?
a bit of a smile goes across his face. If you hadn't seen into his character, you would have known that was fake.
yeah.
But he looks down and smiles. Hello, gentlemen.
Oh, it's so good to see you too. It's been forever.
It has. I just got here about 2 days ago.
What'd you do to the tower?
Oh, I've been hired to figure out what went wrong.
Wrong. You mean what fell off it?
No, that's sort of obvious. He looks up. No, I'm speaking. He has a weird slow manner of speaking, like he's translating everything in his head.
Okay.
I'm speaking of the things that were in here before. This was a wizard's tower.
Ooh.
It's quite fascinating, but I can't make heads or tails of it. And he lifts up this book, which is obviously a journal of maybe a wizard's book, and it's just crazy talk inside there. The writing wise, scribbled. It just looks like code.
Oh. Mal look at
Oh,
it.
He looks
Right.
over at you, Orden, looks a little bit hopefully.
yeah. Orden was wondering how willing he'd be to relinquish it. I don't know that Orden would want to volunteer a bunch of his time to help this guy out, but if he wanted to lend him the book, he'd try to see what he could see and would make an honest commitment to come back and see what he could share.
Says, well, I am working on it, and I have some progress. But if you would look at this and see if you think you could translate, that would be good. I would rather you didn't go with the book. There's a room of these, he says.
Wow, he liked to write, huh?
I think they were doing something very special here.
Does it look like a cipher? Or like it's some sort of a code? Like thieves can't type.
Like a language type of thing.
Yeah.
It does look like it's definitely a code of some part, but you're not sure how you'd be able to do it if you didn't have a key of some sort.
Yeah. Looks like gibberish to me.
Orden
Me
would
too.
politely excuse himself and kind of tug at Beck in the party to come with him. And then once he was out at earshot, he would ask essentially, how willing are we to help this guy out who clearly wasn't on our side, and we'll do whatever for the highest bidder.
Yeah, well, don't help him out. I mean, just look and see what's on there. If we can see something, we can just tell
Yeah,
him.
help us out, you know.
Fish cake.
Yeah, you hear basically a
Fish
voice.
cake.
You hear a voice come from basically beside your head. I would not trust him, but I would if I find out what he's working on just out of interest.
That's fair. He'll turn around and go, yeah, I'll take a look at it. What's the harm, eh? And he gives him a broad yet fake grin.
So yeah, he leads you inside the room there. Are you guys on the map? Have I moved the map at all yet? No, I have not.
On the city map, yeah.
It's just their little map. I just use theirs. It feels so crude after all my fancy maps, but we'll go with it. And we are, I'll center it. And nothing's coming up.
This is a dark room.
Yeah, maybe I put you on the wrong layer. Let me double check that part. Yes, you're all on the map layer. That would help. Good.
Oh.
There we go. Except for Orden, looks like he's on the wrong layer still.
You have a token, but no sight.
Yep.
Vision on. No night vision. It's daytime. Let's just throw the light on. I don't need to do all that junk. Let's just do that. Hold on. Daylight.
Aha.
Okay. So the map is a bunch of little blocks since it's floors. So that's why it's a tiny little map we're on right now. So stepping away then, there's some writing on the cover you can't quite make out, but you can know that that's not in code. It's just a language. that you may not speak. Does anybody speak Infernal?
Rickier does, but he's,
Give me 10
he was.
minutes, I can. Well,
I do. Yeah, I do speak Infernal. Yes,
Where is Rickier?
I'm right here.
Okay, I said, yeah, I didn't
oh,
know
I
if you
thought
wanted to go.
you said
You
you
mentioned-
weren't going to the tower.
Yeah, I wasn't. I thought me and Thorn weren't going though.
Probably best if you didn't split up.
Yeah, Thor was going, so you could tag along with him.
It was
Yeah,
Thorn's idea, I
All
think.
right then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was curious about the tower in the first place, anyways.
So yes,
Yeah.
Rickier, then you can see and read the cover quite easily. It says "To Build Worlds" is what it says. Is the name of the book.
I believe this says, to build worlds, to construct worlds.
Just
You see-
considering
yeah.
we don't know what we're going to find in there, Orden's going to start ritual casting comprehend languages.
Okay.
He'll say, "Give me 10 minutes." Until then, and he kind of hands it over to Rickier.
Kaladek's gone back inside. He's not with you now. I'll bring him on
well,
the map.
I suppose. I'll open the book.
And I want to give you guys this.
Nice.
There we go. Does that work?
That's cool.
Okay, so that's the side pick view that came with it. And I wanted to make sure you at least could see that, so I put the party token on that one.
Where are you?
Over here. Come on, map. Is it Shift or Alt Enter?
Shift.
So
Oh, if we zoom out real far, you can see it.
It's.
Yep.
I thought it was Shift, but I'm not going
Oh,
anywhere.
got it.
Oh, okay, I see it now.
Shift long click, yeah.
And that's what I'm doing.
You're on the wrong layer. I can't see you.
Oh, damn it! It's because I'm trying to move things over from other layers right now.
Yeah, that's right, Adam.
There he is.
So I don't know about this book, but it didn't seem like they did a good job building this world, this tower here.
Not really.
Oh god. There's
This is-
Porch.
That's Kaladek for those who haven't met him before.
Kaladek. Okay.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Do I?
Long time ago.
Yep.
Looking through this, do I have any information about it?
That's the only words that were written in anything that looks like a language was what was on the cover. That and the
Yes,
name of the guy, which is Thalavar. Sorry, I'll type that below.
Yes. Orden.
He'll look up at you while he continues to cast.
It seems this book was also written by someone named Thalavar. Do you happen to know anything about him?
Do I, James?
Yeah, you can make a history or arcana,
Which
whichever
would
one's
you
highest.
prefer?
Whichever's highest. Oh, go roll them both, and I'll
They're
get different info.
They're the same.
So,
Here's one. Here's another.
Okay,
without
cool.
the-
nice rolls. So, the history-wise, what you know of Thalavar was the Thalavar was a school of wizardry here in town at this tower, Thalavar's Tower. You didn't realize it was Leylon. You didn't know where it was. But he had a school of wizardry about 100, 200 years ago. Something went wrong with one of his apprentices, and everybody disappeared. And that was it for history-wise. And then something about not too long ago, during the Spell Plague, which was an event that happened about less than 100 years ago, and the magic of that broke the tower even more and released something inside it, and that's what froze the entire city under some curse and ripped. Basically, the arcana side, as you know, is that whatever blew up there, the curse went off, ripped the souls out of every single person in the entire city.
Oh,
When well, Orden wouldn't be able to share that yet. When Rickier says the name and asks if he knows him, Orden continues to chant, but his eyebrows raise and he nods his head.
The arcana side of the roll tells you what you know of Thalavar was they built something called a demi-plane, and that was his specialty, is they would build demi-planes for the insanely wealthy and powerful.
And then as soon as his comprehend languages was done, so about 10 minutes, he would I was made sure there are verbal, somatic, and material components to comprehend, so he wouldn't have been able to reply
Right.
prior to that. When he's done, he'll share that with the party. Like, I think clearly they were trying to build a demiplane or another world or somewhere they could go, which maybe that has something to do with this weird resurrection inhabiting bodies.
I think that might have anything to do with why all these I don't know, bigwigs are trying to get in here. Like the dragon, what's her face, and that demon, and all the undead, and the stupid guy who lies and stuff, and that guy.
I would say almost certainly, but I couldn't. I can guess, but I could only guess at the specifics.
Do you think this tower is still active? Is there a demiplane inside? What does the demiplane look like?
Well,
Oh,
if
like a bag, right?
Stick it in the bag and see.
he cocks his head and looks at you until you run yourself out.
Yep.
It says, considering it seems to resurge every time they attempt to fix it, I would say there's absolutely still magic at work here. I could try to cast Identify on the building, or at least on a part of it. I don't know if that would work.
Well, maybe we should see what the books say first.
And since we're talking now, I assume that the comprehend languages
There it goes.
is
Yes.
all set, James.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll post that up so you know the specifics. But
And
he
you can
should be
see
able
the
to
same
read.
details that Rakir said then on the cover of the book.
He should be able to read any written language that I see, but I have to be touching the surface of the words where the words are written. Takes about a minute
Yes.
to read a page of text.
So when this goes off, you absolutely know that it is not a language. That it is some sort of secret code known only to the individual who wrote it all.
Arcane sigils, maybe? Or, it's a code, like a cipher.
Exactly.
Got it.
Ooh, I like
fact-
those. Those are fun.
The actual module says nothing short of a wish spell, so we can move on.
All right.
Dang, that
Damn.
sucks.
It's like, okay.
Before we move on, even if it's just for flavor, Orden would want to somehow copy some or all of the book, but obviously he couldn't do it. Like, you're not going to sit and write and copy for an hour. That's not going to do you much good.
Especially a cipher, because it'd be like drawing.
He would he'd say to the air, like, Silver Tongue, are you around? And then when he heard Bone Sprite, he would I swear to God, you have a way of. We've done this before. We had a way of like remembering or copying or.
Yeah, you've used illusions once.
For doing what specifically?
He wants a copy of this book.
And maybe not the whole book, but just enough that Mal or whomever can sit of a night and try to decipher the code.
Well, in order to do that, we have to find out some more. I mean, really, I have to find the actual cipher, and maybe it means looking inside. So I'm gonna go inside. You guys want to come inside? We'll take a look.
I do not have a
Story's already in.
This
Stepping in.
I simply spend a lot of time reading.
You definitely want to go in. I'm just trying to figure out, like, I know I
You could
could
try to-
minor illusion, so if I could remember some of it, I could always
Well-
minor illusion it. But
You
that-
you
When we stole
realize
that
you
book-
might be able to talk Kelladek out of it. He said there's a whole room of them.
Mal comes back. Remember fish cakes.
Got Thorn in there browsing the books looking for fish cakes.
No, that's what we already have.
We already have fish cakes. Why didn't you say so sooner?
Yeah, it's how to make fish cakes. That's what the guy wrote.
Holy shit, a fucking gold mine.
I know. We gotta find the cipher.
So you intend to explore the tower, yes?
The whole. I don't think we can do the whole tower. Thorn just want to kind of come here and see if he can get see if he can pick up any like weird vibes or any magical like vibes anywhere around the tower.
All
if
right.
we're sorry.
Give me 5 minutes, and I will join you from the tavern. I was collecting information.
If we're gonna stick around the town for an hour for a rest and an additional hour, Orden would spend as much of that time as he could at this tower and studying the book. I've got illusory script too, so he would at least try to copy down a couple few pages,
Yeah.
just to have a sample.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think based on the wording of illusory script, you pretty much basically just write stuff down.
Right.
So basically, whether it's illusory or real, you'd be doing taking the same amount of time.
Yeah.
So the room that you're going into there, Mal, there's light that shines in through the ceiling. I mean, there's problems with this tower. It's not rebuilt yet. So there's pools of water here and there, some plants growing up between the rocks. There's a large table right there in front of you, which someone has brought in here, and it looks like 3 or 4 workers' packs up on top there, trying to keep it out of the water in the buck. And then Kaladek's at the other side there with a pile of those books. And he's got one open and he's just flipping through it.
What's that one say, Cal?
Same as the other.
Oh.
Are there like books lining the walls, or are all the books on that table?
No, he just has a couple here. This room otherwise is pretty empty. Otherwise,
Pretty empty. Okay. All right.
yeah, just between the rainwaters and the starling nests up in the eaves.
How to build worlds. Is this like some sort of ode to Minecraft?
Oh, I never really played Minecraft, so I'll say no.
I didn't either, but
At least it didn't say to serve man. I was thinking that when I wrote it.
Oh yeah.
All right. Thorn is going to ask Kaladek some questions. He's like, how much do you know about this tower? Do you know the history of it? Just trying to see how like dodgy he is with his questions he gives.
Mal will pay attention.
Okay.
Well, not pay attention.
Do your insight roll up front, since you wanted to watch him.
All right, 1 sec.
Can Thorn do him as well?
Please, that's who I wanted it from, actually.
Nope.
Mal's too busy looking at other stuff.
Yes.
All right.
Where's that sucker?
24 then for Thorn.
Okay, Mal, make a wisdom save roll. 15.
All right.
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh, nice roll.
Okay.
All right, you just happen to catch yourself is all. You would notice you're standing there next to looking at all those bags, and you swear you see a large healing potion inside one of those bags, and your hand starts reaching out towards it, and you pull it back, and you stop yourself from grabbing it. No one else saw it, though. Kaladek then was asking you, yeah, so Thorin, you start asking about it, and first he stops and he's trying to figure out, he's looking at you like when someone's talking to a football player. He's like, well, what size of words do I use here? And he stopped, sort of shrugs, and, well, the family was quite rich and powerful. I had some brief dealings with them in my childhood. He smiles. I am much older than I look. They
I figured.
Look, 1,000. Mel says as he's looking, this book is old.
It goes, and as far as I could tell, they had a school for a specialty type of multi-planal wizards, which is what's sort of my interest in why I've been hired to come here.
Okay, yeah, all right. Like, can I tell he was like telling the truth, or he's just kind of like acting like he doesn't know much?
He's holding back a whole lot, trying to give you generalities in words he thinks you're not going to understand.
All right. Thorn, okay, all right, I see. So no personal interest, right?
Oh, go ahead and make an Arcana roll while you're at it, though. You probably don't have it, but go for it anyway.
Hey James, while Orden is scribbling in this book and looking around, my passive isn't much, but can I give it to you to see if he picks up anything that guy's saying and recognizes it as some bullshit?
Oh, 20.
Don't need to. Yes, you could have. So yes, well, you call back on your childhood of listening to your dad and brother and stuff, chatting around the dinner table, and so you get parts of it. And you actually know what they're talking about. or what he's talking about. And you know that a demi-plane is a small pocket world. Sometimes they'll take an entire town. The biggest one you know of that you have actually been to once as an excursion with your family was Barovia, where you popped into, where it's ruled by some vampire lord.
Barovia.
And
Okay.
that's a pocket world as well. And these guys supposedly did something about them, either found them or made them, which seems a little weird because that seemed like a god type thing. So maybe they just found them.
Huh. Okay. All right. And then Thorn will ask you like, so why did you lose the interest in this kind of building? It's a pretty creepy place.
Well, not many can afford. Never end, Ember.
Never one to hired you.
The city, yes. Never Ember's the ruler.
Oh, never Ember. Okay.
Well, not directly through intermediaries, but yes. Probably just wants to make sure it's safe for what's here.
All right. Thorn will just nod his head. I don't have any more questions for him. I think Thorn kind of ignored his hiding shit, but he's not going to push him too much to make him worry about anything.
Okay.
How many floors up does this go? Just 2 for now.
There's 4 if you count the 4th as a floor. It's open.
Oh, is there any basements?
No, oddly.
Okay.
Who doesn't build basements when you build a tower?
Who knows? Madmen.
Maybe that's where the demi-plane is.
In the basement, you fucking genius. Thorn's gonna wander off.
I try.
You're welcome to look around. There's no secrets here. The staircase there goes up some of the way, but really the safest route is the stairs that the workers put in on the scaffolding.
Alright.
Do we still have that helm of true sight? Does Mal
I
still
don't think
have
Mal
that?
ever takes
Oh,
them
yeah?
off.
Yeah, Matt, he sleeps in that thing.
Yeah,
Orden would pull Mal aside and tell him to keep his eyes out for any potential secret doors or things like that, because it is odd this place doesn't have any sort of basement.
Mal's gonna start a deep scan.
Okay. Anybody
And
want to
Orden
feel free to
would have
walk
had
around?
guidance on himself just to help him jot that stuff down as quick as possible, and after he asked Mal, he would then cast it on him instead.
Thorn will ask him.
Well, I'm quite all right.
Yeah, Thorn's gonna ask anybody like off to the side, so kind of like they don't hear him. Do you want any of these books? Any more of them that we can get our hands on?
I imagine Mal could probably pocket 1 or 2.
Yeah, if Thorn will probably, he just feel like he's probably gonna take Kaladek and maybe show him upstairs. Gotta give him a tour of it.
So yeah, if you want to get a tour, he picks up the pile. Let me just put these away first, and puts them in this room to the north.
And as he's putting it in, Thorn's just gonna give the eyes.
And there's
that shit.
bookshelves lining the halls there with tons of books. These all look to be clean. The room looks to be clean. There's which isn't a
library?
depiction. It is now.
Mal's sneaking between his legs.
It's the only room I could find that was waterproof. So we're moving the books down here for now.
Oh, that's super smart. And they're all written in the same thing.
Yep.
Oh my god. And did you build these shelves, or were these shelves here?
The workers put them together.
Are these doors unlocked or are they locked? Thorn's just not breaking in the rooms, is he?
No, this room is unlocked, and none of these rooms are locked. And the books here, actually, not all of them are code. I'm sorry. There are quite a few of them that are just general study books, and he's been going through them trying to find the cipher.
And you've opened every single one.
Yes, and brought them all here. And there's more. He points up in a sort of a desperation sound.
Oh. All right.
So Thorin, the room you stepped into. A lot of cave in here, rocks and so
Mhm.
forth everywhere. Looks to be maybe some sort of servants' quarters once upon a time before there was the cave in.
Can you do a quick investigation check in this room?
Yeah, go for it, please.
Investigation, what you at? 18. Kind of sort through those rocks and stuff. Not try to. You don't want to knock anything over and kind of cause another cave in, but
So you can tell that there is something buried under here. You find some little bits and pieces of things. Oddly, you find it looks like it's diminutive stuff, like it was maybe child's stuff you're finding underneath here. Like maybe it was a child's playroom or a bed or something was underneath here. But it would take you about a half hour to clear the wreckage out to see what's underneath all of it.
if everybody else is wandering around, Thorn probably, he'll probably do it. As he finds the kid's toys, shit, that's depressing. As he just sorts through it.
Okay. If nothing else,
Well, we
helping them out.
Mhm.
So eventually, then you find a very well made, now collapsed dollhouse that's pretty big scale, like made for like foot tall dolls. And it's all crushed inside everything, but there are little bones in there. So maybe something alive was in here. You're going to have to make a medicine check if you want to know what type of bones they are.
Thorn has a bad idea about this. Just a 9.
Oh.
He's gonna call somebody over. He's gonna walk out with this crushed little dollhouse. Guys, those little bones in this.
Okay,
These are little people. Those a lizard, perhaps. I can't fucking tell. He's gonna kind of show the bones to you guys. Pocket dimensions be fucking crazy, guys.
So, Mal, you find around the corner it's the remains of what once was a kitchen, but anything that would be useful has been taken away. And people took the stove out and everything. All that's left in this empty room now is a lot of dust and a chimney coming down halfway into the room.
He'll look up the chimney.
You can see light some way up there. You don't think it goes all the way to the roof, so it must pop out somewhere.
He'll look down. Does it go down?
No.
Oh, all right.
Okay, so what are you guys, Orden and Nasir? Orden is casting a spell.
Orden is copying from the cipher with illusory script, but
No, he's got a half hour.
Holding concentration on guidance that's on Mal.
Okay.
And
So you found a
as soon
kid
as it
for-
winks out, he'll recast it occasionally.
It looks like. Can you tell what these are? And he's gonna pull all those bones. Can you tell what that is?
Rakir, what do you want to do for the half hour so we catch you up to the time frame? Since Thorin was undigging.
sorry.
Honestly, I think Rakir's just relaxing for a half hour outside while they deal with this magic.
Relaxing.
I'm
Just sitting there looking out over the town.
Yeah, I'm more just looking out over the paths, occasionally rotating around, see if anyone's coming up.
There, if you really wanted to look, there's scaffolding going all the way up this thing. So if you wanted to climb up any of it, you could, without rolls.
Yeah, sure. I think they mentioned something about fog, so I might as well get a good vantage point. It's the highest one I'm gonna have for a while.
How many levels do you want to go up?
Where's the top?
4 floors.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's how high I'm going.
Okay, so I will drop you up onto 4th.
I'm just trying to see if I can kind of where this fog starts. They said they fogged up one of the paths that led to where we need to go.
Oh, that was in the past. That was when you guys were coming into town. The witch had laid this huge fog bank between the road and the hill to stop anybody from coming and getting her. And so they had blocked off that whole area. And then you guys came by water and screwed that up for her.
As we tend to do.
Yeah, she tend to do.
I don't know, Thor. That looks dead.
I mean, yeah, it's fucking dead. What kind of bone is it? Give it a check. Give it a look and do. You have that fancy helmet.
So yeah, up here there is pieces of up on the rooftop. Rick here, there
Yes.
are pieces of equipment or machinery, I guess you might call it. You can't tell if it's for brewing beer or making worlds. It's just stuff. But there's a bunch of equipment and stuff up here in that pile right where you're at. The ceiling's gone. It's been blasted completely away, as most of the ceiling and the floor and everything here is just a platform really where you're at. Along the walls that do exist still though are something rather uncomforting. Is you see shackles all along the wall, and the shackles have all been broken off of the walls and shattered, like
Hmm.
whatever was in them decided they weren't going to be in them anymore.
Can I kind of examine their construction?
Yeah.
What are they made out of?
What do we need for that? The character sheet. Give me a investigation. That's
11.
good enough. So, well, you can tell with an 11 then is that definitely steel or some sort of metal like that. And then on top of that is that these were very hard. You think you might have a difficulty breaking them unless you went in like giant form or something and really gave them some work. They were basic human prisoner type, but you also noticed that they had leg ones as well down at the bottom. And whatever was in them actually brute forced their way out of them, sometimes ripping the chain and breaking the wall. And whatever there is gone. There's nothing here now. The damage is a long time ago. In fact, this whole place up here has been open to the elements for 100 years.
Hey, James, with
Yeah.
that illusory script, what Orden is writing is he's copying down the cipher, but what it appears, if Keladek or anyone else other than our party looks over his shoulder, it appears as though he's writing descriptions and measurements of each room that they're in.
Okay.
Because you can make it look like one thing when it's another, just so
Gotcha.
it's plausible to whomever.
Okay. And there's a big pile of rubble up on that floor too, Rick, here, if you want to dig through it.
Sure. I'll take a look through it.
Okay. And that'll bring you up to the top. So when at the very end, at the end of 30 minutes, as you pull it out, you're like, hey, there's a human foot, and you find the remains of somebody underneath all this rubble that's pushed up there that no one's dug out yet. And we'll cut back to the group.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody, hey, it's a foot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
maybe.
sound like I'm out.
Hey, look, guys, a severed foot. That's gross.
It's in his pocket.
Save that.
It was in the bag.
Yeah, Mal's
Get him
gonna
a
be
bag
looking
of pulling.
at the floor for every, and walls for any sign of any secret passages, any secret doors or niches or crevices, and then if he doesn't find anything, he's going to move up to the next floor.
Yeah, there's not much down here. The bottom floor was obviously living quarters. You don't know what the study was used for before he turned it into a study. But otherwise, there was a kitchen down here, servants' quarters, and a large hall, entry hall.
Nothing under the stairs.
No, and was someone making there is no under to get under type of thing. It's just stone.
Okay.
And you're sure there has to be a secret thing, and you spend a little time pulling those rocks out and looking underneath them, and there's nothing.
Yeah.
And Orden, did you want to make or whoever's helping Thorin with his corpse identification?
I would if you asked me.
Oh, he did. He came out with a little animal, but then I stopped.
Yeah, he asked everybody.
Sure.
You know you're busy.
In that case, as he looks up and you say that, he'll turn over to Mal and say, 1 second. And he'll cast guidance on Thorin and walk over and take a look. So essentially, I will help him and guide him.
Okay, well then we'll make another medicine check.
Please.
Medicine check. Now we put on guidance. Bloop.
With the help.
So that time is
16.
16-ish.
Not bad.
That'll do it. You needed a 12.
All
Right.
right.
So, yeah, as you're looking at it together, you realize that this thing is a fey creature, but that you still are holding the bones means it's one that walked into this world and wasn't summoned into this world. So it's a little fae.
Huh. That was living in this little dollhouse?
Yeah, go ahead and make an Arcana roll too then. This one be Orden, since he's the wizard.
Alright.
Orden. Oh, that was right. Might be a familiar. But then you're not quite sure how. Well, it's a familiar that wasn't summoned, like maybe more like Nasir's types of familiars, where they don't.
Is the Sears Bone Fairy floating around right now?
It's invisible, but you can hear its wings.
What
Is it
was
showing-
that bone fairy originally?
A sprite.
James, I had didn't mention this, but I had thought it just didn't seem relevant. Gary is outside, perched on the tower, just kind of keeping an eye out for anything weird. I only bring that up because as soon as he would have recognized that, he'd have looked at Thorin with big eyes and said, "Don't tell Gary this, but this used to be a familiar, and it wasn't a familiar summoned like I summoned him. He walked into this world and clearly didn't make it out. He's dead."
And
Alright, Thorin.
it's also, now that you think about it, it looks, the bones you're holding there, yes, that could be the same critter that Nasir has, except for maybe this one was alive once.
Okay, alright. Thorin's gonna go like, shit, man. He's gonna sit the house down on that table and just kinda walk away from it.
Orden would say,
So-
"Nasir needs to see this too."
Yes, this here. As he sets it down, found that in kid's room over there.
Hmm. Yep. Zero walk over.
It looks a lot like your bone fairy, but
Yes,
this one's
Flattened.
dead and crushed.
Lived in a tiny house.
it's a very small children's room.
Yes.
I guess. But this was a wizard's tower, so perhaps they have all sorts of interesting things here.
Yeah, but don't usually summons disappear.
Nasir just kind of shrugs. Mine do, but because mine are summoned by magic.
I guess so. That's strange. And
I
I'll
feel like this
wander
is-
off.
Common
Yeah.
sense enough that Orden would say it, but tell me if not, James. He'd be musing and he'd say, "Well, to be here in the flesh, it would have to have entered our world, not been summoned to our world. There are ways to do that, but Fae don't typically do that. I don't know what the reasoning would be."
You think the process would probably be a lot like when people get that dragon. There's a certain dragon you can get as a familiar. Pseudo dragon?
Pseudo dragon, yep.
Yeah, and those actually are living things. You got to go find them. You don't just call them into being.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's right. I've seen elsewhere type of thing.
Oh, okay,
Supposedly that's
neat.
the same way with the Quadzit and some of those other ones too. They're different.
That's weird. I thought, yeah, the chain pack options, I
Oh,
thought
that's
those
neat.
worked the same way. Like you could dismiss it to the pocket dimension and all that stuff.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, you can. It's just actually living, breathing here.
Yes, I think the point was to make it harder for you to get a new one once that one dies,
Got it.
because they don't have one hit point either.
But when they die, they die.
Like that's what I'm seeing in different things. At least it is in this book, and it is also in a couple other ones. But I don't know what the raw
So-
rules are.
All right, so there's two different things going on here. One, there's basically stuff you summon by Find Familiar, which are just basically like little magical things. They poof when they die. And the only difference is basically for a chain warlock, you can have a couple different options that are basically a little bit better, but they still follow the same rules. They're basically just embodied spirits in basically a body that poofs when they die. But there are also certain items that can technically be considered basically your capital F familiars, which are basically like friendly NPCs that follow you around, and they are just dead when they die. So there's two different mechanics there. The actual like the Find Familiar spell, and then the actual like familiar that basically that you befriend and follows you around, like taming a dog or something.
Yeah. The only other problem I have is that we're using written adventures, and they go and change the rules. So
Fair enough.
I know, because especially since some of these adventures are written in first edition, and then they've re-released them updated for 5e. But
Yep.
Yeah. 'cause
so I'm seeing there's things in here. It's like, well, this is now a familiar. I'm like, but
yeah, because familiar is definitely worked that way back in the older editions.
yeah. So we're gonna go with that. Hey, it's 100 years ago. 100 years ago. So that's what we end up with, though, is after a long discussion of Arcata, and Thorin sort of wanders off as he gets lost listening to him. It sounds like reminds you of hearing your brother and dad again, and they're going at it, talking about familiars.
Yeah, I didn't sign up for a fucking class. Walked off. Fucking-
Wait, Thorin, do you want me to raise this one for you? Would you like a pet?
That actually sounds fantastic. If you can do that, just kind of get all giggly.
No, I
I
cannot.
thought you didn't sign up for
What
the
the
class.
What the fuck?
Just get the week.
Yeah. When there's no goddamn incentives. He's gonna storm off the second floor. Fucking give me a $10.30, you motherfucker. Walk off.
So, where are you going, Mal, while all this was going on? You did your check inside, and it looks like you're heading up.
Up to the second floor. Yep.
You going up by the ladder route?
Yeah.
Okay. And up on the rooftop. Rick here.
I'm crawling down with this body.
Okay, so yeah, Mal, you come to the ladder to climb up, and you see Rakir coming down with it looks like a skeleton or over his shoulders, wrapped up in old rotten robes and stuff.
Ooh, what you got there, Rick?
I found a body up at the top.
Oh. One of the workers?
I don't know. I haven't had a good chance. Would you want to come down and look at him?
As you pass the third floor, that's the only other window really at this point. You can see a window into a hallway, to a darkened hallway there that you can see that you can only get to from this window. It looks like it's caved in on the third floor. And back down below. All right, Mal, what are you going to do then? Gonna wait for Rakir to come down?
He'll pop into the second floor and yeah, let Rick here go by.
All right.
Okay, so second floor. Let me just drop you up onto the second floor then.
As he goes down, he'll kind of look at the body. How long's that been up there?
I don't know. It's a skeleton now. I probably at least 20 years.
No teeth marks?
Recure checks it for teeth marks?
It's just bones, so no, you don't see any, and then nothing not on the teeth at least, or not on the bones.
No, no teeth marks.
Yeah. Did he have anything good?
I don't know. I planned on checking him at the bottom. I was gonna go bury him.
Oh. Well, okay. I'm gonna check for some secrets up here. See if there's maybe another passage or something. I'm trying to find that cipher. But we'll see.
Well, good luck with that.
All right.
And so yeah, that's what I'll go do, James. I'll go down here. I'll check, investigate this skeleton, and then
Drop it on the table in the big room there.
Hello, everybody.
I need some bones. This will work.
Yeah.
There we go. Now it's an autopsy table. So yeah, as you were heading over in the corner over there, Orden chatting stuff, and Rakir comes walking back in with a bunch of bones. You instantly can tell that it was a wizard's, by the robes and leftover ratted, type wizard things, and just the robes that he's in, the symbols and stuff on it.
If no one else had noticed that, he'd of course pointed out. I guess he wouldn't know if anyone else noticed it, so he would point it out.
He's the sort of waits to wait, just nobody says anything.
Yeah, but aside from this robes, is there anything else of note on the skeleton?
Not really, no. I mean, he looks like whoever was cut didn't even have shoes on, or maybe they've disappeared over the years. Anybody want to make medicine rolls?
Sure, I mean, I'm investigating him. Damn.
It's been there for a long time, far more than 20. So you're thinking generations. Maybe this is one of the original people that have been up there since when the tower blew up, in which case it's been 100 years.
Oh wait, Nasir.
Hmm? Yes?
You can talk to dead people, can't you?
He looks over at him. Unfortunately, you need to have some flesh on him. I cannot talk to a skeleton. It needs to be at least somewhat of a corpse.
I see.
Because basically, where is it? Yeah, I think speak was dead. Basically, the corpse must still have a mouth and can't be undead. So assuming it's not undead, it still needs to have like a mouth, which I assume means like not just basically jawbones, unless
And-
James says differently.
100 years, you'd have to put it together anyways. His jawbone's probably still up on the roof.
All right then.
So if you can provide me with better materials, I can certainly question it.
No. It's
I
all
could
right.
try to mend the jawbone back on.
For it. That would work.
Do we have the jawbone?
Yeah,
Uh,
I'll say so. I mean, he's probably grabbed up the loose pieces as he was pulling everything out.
dropped it down the scaffolding.
Yeah.
I traded out mending last time. I'll have to wait until the end of our next long
Oh.
rest. Orden would say, bring it along. And while we're resting tonight, in the morning.
I know mending.
There you go.
I know one spell.
That's your one spell?
Mending.
Oh, for being an elf.
Yes.
Nice.
Cast mending on this.
Seamstress in his earlier.
I mean, you get to use it at least.
Yeah, finally, huh?
Also, yeah, I'm also
Gotta break out the rusty skills.
I'm carrying around these smith tools in mending for an occasion.
You and Orden will have to set up shop somewhere.
Yeah, for real. I was gonna say I could use that help when we start building these Dragon Ball throwers.
Yeah, Nasir, would this work?
I should have called them Dragon Balls. That would have been a better name.
I can attempt it. However, basically, I would suggest that you figure out which questions you want me to ask ahead of time. There's only a limited amount of time I can ask them.
Orden, I think the questions are more up your alley. About that book, this wizard probably knew something about it.
He would look over at Nasir and say, he's our silver tongue, but I see where you're going with it. He'd look at Nasir and then back over at Meta, like, what do we want to know? Who he was? What killed him?
Presumably, if he died here when the tower exploded, he basically was in some part aware of what was going on. So we ask him what happened to the tower, at least. What happened to the tower, and how did he die? And basically, based on those, we could perhaps form other questions, unless there are some other questions you wish to know ahead of time. Do you wish to ask about the book?
Yes, and the cipher, I suppose.
Ah, yes.
Yes, I
What's
think
his name isn't here, right, James? If he was, Orden would suggest we go somewhere where he wasn't. Kella Dick, dude.
So, yeah, he's there. So if you want to walk down to an empty house or something, or go into one of these rooms or up to a floor, or
Orden will give you guys a pointed look and say, maybe we should look around first before doing this, and kind of look towards the door and glance over at his direction.
you're right. I should probably prepare him a hole anyways.
I'll help you dig it. I'll go out with you.
Yes, I don't have a shovel.
so as you're leaving Kaladex, is it too much to ask that you would share anything you find?
Oh, we'll talk when we're done. I'm checking this book out too. That looks interesting, but doesn't appear to be any script that I know. But I'm hoping I keep looking at it, something will pop out.
I hope so. All right. Well, you guys will. I'm not gonna deal with the map. We'll just swap over. You guys find a nice little house nearby. You can do your scary, dirty work of reanimating the dead.
Is Nasir coming along with us too? I suppose.
Yeah.
I think he has to.
That's what I thought, but I just wanted to be sure.
So what spell are you casting to bring this guy back to vocal?
Well, they said they said they were mending the jawbone back together,
Yes.
so it has a mouth, and then I can cast, or Nasir can cast, Speak with Dead,
Okay, we'll do.
to then summon his anima back to answer questions for us.
I love to speak with Dead and Hellboy. That's my favorite one.
All right. And I'm actually going to basically, since you said that this guy had robes, right?
Yes.
All right, then I'm going to basically I'll basically sort of like study the robes, trying to figure out basically what they originally looked like before they're too deteriorated, and try and basically craft just a generic set of basically like wizardly robes for myself using disguise self.
Okay.
That kind of copies the same pattern, so I look like I'm wearing the same robes as this guy was.
Okay. If you want to nail it, you'll have to make an Arcana roll. Otherwise, it's your best guess.
Oh, yeah, I'm not really sartorially minded, so let's just basically look at the robes and basically just make an approximation.
You got it.
Under the assumption that this spell only makes them answer questions. People who are friendly, hopefully being dressed the same, will basically give me some sort of sympathy as opposed to a complete stranger.
All right. So what are your questions for him? The spell casts, the bones start moving around, the jaws rattle about, and a distant voice comes out of the jawbones.
All right. Then first question. What caused you to die in the disaster at the tower?
I was killed before the tower destroyed. He tells you that he was killed by an apprentice.
Right.
Do you have a number of questions you're allowed to ask, or
5?
5? Okay. He says, I did not die in the explosion. Lithinius killed me, the bastard apprentice.
You see Nasir just kind of lean back. His face just goes real still. He just says, "Ah."
And for the old timers and stuff, actually for the people who are beginning, you recognize that name as being the person who trained San Belay.
Yep, the guy who specialized in the druid who specialized in undead, correct?
Well, he did the druid who specialized in the swarms.
Okay.
He was a.
Yeah, cause he trained her, but he was also the one who's reanimating dead on that cultist island, correct? Basically raising
different cult group. That was the Orcus guys.
Oh,
this guy's a free his own.
Okay, so I guess just be clear, because I seem I'm conflating two different things. So basically, the island that Lithinius and Sam Delay were on was not the cultist island.
Correct.
Okay, so yes, Lithinius, Sam Delay, and that one basically like that half-orc Lolth cultist were all on this entirely different island.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was getting confused on. Okay. All right. So when he says that, this next question would be, why did Lithinius kill you?
To steal the power of the tower, to steal the ability to make worlds. He wanted the control of the net. It's all his fault. He did this.
With the Speak with Dead, can we hear it too, Adam?
Yeah.
Or is it just Nasir?
Yeah,
I think it's
so.
everybody.
Yeah, it just says it speaks, so I'm assuming everyone else is hearing it live.
Interesting.
It's just going to hear Adam talk is all.
Yes.
Right.
What is this net that controls the tower's power?
The bones, the jaw sort of almost smiles. You swear it could smile if it had lips. This is new. We built worlds here by gathering protoplasm in the ether until it collected and congealed into mass. And then Lithinius found another use. He found a way to block souls from traveling through.
Orden mumbles over at Nasir and says, "Don't forget to ask about the cipher."
Nasir just kind of just waves a hand to give him the book. Then say, what he says, what cipher? How do we find the cipher that will allow us to read Thalavar's to build words tome?
You will have to ask Thalavar. He controls the cipher. He has it in his head at all times.
Well, shit.
You'll just have to find him.
Right. How do we find the demiplane that Thalavar is hiding out in?
Go into the portal. In his room, 3rd floor. Opens at night.
With that, the spell ends and the bones collapse back into inanimacy.
Martin says, well, that was look sideways at Basir, enlightening and a little weird.
Nasir just kind of cracks his knuckles. Yes, well, we each have our talents.
True. Very handy.
So I cannot do this again soon, but if we do need to question him at some point in the future, it can be done.
Yes, well, we'll know where to find him. Rakir starts dragging the body out.
Yes, he cannot run away after all.
He'll say, Rakir,
Yes.
I think you absolutely should bury him, but I think you should take him somewhere and do it in secret. So only we know where he is.
I planned on just dragging him off to the coast.
Can't we just put him into one of the bags? I mean, we have space, yes.
Yeah, fair enough.
If
How long are we keeping him around?
I'd say until we solve the mystery here, because he may be a useful resource.
We should, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't we just need the skull? The intact skull?
Yes, but it seems, I don't know, doesn't it seem rude to just sort of basically toss the rest and keep the head? I mean,
Yes, I mean, oh,
You got a point.
I've got a spare set of clothes he can wear. Don't worry about it.
I think this is the first time I've Googled this. The bones for the body will weigh 30 pounds.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep, I've had to look that up too. Basically, the idea of putting bones in bag of holding is actually pretty common for necromancers.
I bet. Because it's only, was it 15% of the total weight? You can get a lot of bodies in that bag. Here's my army.
And 30 pounds is probably top end. He was a big bone mofo.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so.
And then I say, Orton would suggest going back and doing a thorough floor to top search of that 3rd floor.
Indeed. My last question was merely a guess, but perhaps basically if Thalavar did survive the tower's explosion, then going through the portal into his demi-plane would be risky but fruitful if you wish to spend the time now. However, do we wish to spend the time now?
I don't know. I think you're right. I don't know that we spend the time now, but I'd like to at least look and see what we can see.
Yes, I'm very concerned about the fact that Lathenius is very old, as old as basically over 100 years ago, because he's been involved in quite a bit of shenanigans.
And this goes without saying, but we're not sharing anything with.
No.
Teledec? What? You don't trust Teledec?
Can I ask what's wrong with
After he sold us out without blinking?
Yeah, they would do it again.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey guys, there's a bunch of statues up here.
That's what you get. You fuck people over, then you basically lose potential allies.
Whenever we get to the end and Orton takes the book back to Teledec, he's like, well, I know one thing for sure. It says how to build worlds. And he'll smile really big and hand it back to him.
Disappointing, but not unexpected.
I'll think on it a bit. And if anything occurs to me, I'll, professional courtesy, I'll pass it along.
Yes, but one thing is definitely for certain, that rebuilding the tower will continue to cause the problems. So halting the construction for now the best choice. But I think you already knew this.
Yes, unfortunately, my job has been to ignore that advice and to dispel anything we find and turn it into military quarters. So,
Really, why not just, for all that effort, why not simply seal the tower up and build another tower elsewhere that is not cursed?
seems
You
like a
realize
good
you
question.
put yourself and anyone housed here and anyone in this town at risk by continuing this construction. That doesn't seem to make any sense to anybody.
No, hopefully we won't get to that same situation. But
He'll give him a pointed, like, are you fucking kidding me? Look.
he shrugs, orders. If it wasn't me, it'd be someone else. And at least I know I can pull this off.
Orden would just shake his head, walk away, muttering, if I ordered you to jump off a fucking tower, you don't fucking do that.
So, and Nasir will basically speak to him in Alzado and say, "So, just how many human lifetimes have you lived?"
Are you asking Kaladek that?
Yes.
He smiles. I don't count them in human lifetimes.
Ah, I guess it's just curious after that many lifetimes of experience, why you're still taking petty jobs from people like Rosnar and the Council of Saltmarsh after all this time.
Because they get me the things I ask for.
Where are your orders coming from, anyway?
I've mentioned this already, I thought. Neverwinter, Neverember.
Oh, that's
Never
right.
remember.
That's right. Sorry.
Let's just say that I'm not really welcome in Saltmarsh anymore. And this is going to be my new residence and my new employ.
I see.
Yeah, until you fucking die like the last resident.
Is that why you no longer in Kalimshan?
Different reasons, but close to the same story. Different characters.
Finally
It's-
annoyed some of the power and was forced to leave.
Exactly.
After
Wait.
many lifetimes, it seems like the same story repeats. Interesting.
It does. There's always a bigger fish. You'll see when you get back into town.
And Sue just kind of shrugs. Turns back to the party and in common. All right. Are we ready to go? Anything else we need to do here?
Orden folds up a little paper he's been jotting on and tucks it into a pouch and says, I'm good.
There's a bunch of statues up on the second floor.
Oh, of what?
Hooded guys with little sticks.
So what you can see looking through the windows on the second floor, peering through, is that statues were of a peasant woman with a finger to her lips, like a shushing motion. And the same statue is in each one of those rooms. Those rooms look to be libraries,
Oh, there's lots of books up there.
like
you
the
see
entire.
anything,
Yeah.
Anything special up there?
Well, there was one room you could get into, which was the one that was busted open, with a side missing, and there was just books. It's just a library.
Okay.
Orden's
After-
face lights up at the mention
Room
of
after room.
Lots of books. Orden.
We sure we don't have more time to spend here? He says, hopefully.
We got
Oh, I-
stone.
Oh, there was one room you could get into to see the statue. You would have to make a roll to figure out who the person is or anything like that. There was also some scribblings and stuff on there and some graffiti and things like that as well. This place has been open for quite a while. You aren't the first people in here.
Yeah, he would have tried to, he read the graffiti and kind of looked at, leafed through a few books, trying to find some that might open up a secret passage.
Okay. Give me an Arcana or Religion. You make your choice.
Okay. They both suck. 14.
No, yeah, not quite sure. You think it's a goddess of some sort, but you don't know which goddess.
It's not Sarah Lee.
The pastry goddess.
Yeah. You know, my goddess.
Fucking hell.
Sarah Lawley, but yeah, I never realized how close those two are.
It's Mal.
Hey, Sarah Lee pastries, halflings works. No, it's not her.
Okay.
For one thing, she's not a halfling. It's definitely a human. Got round ears.
He explains some lady up there with she's telling us to be quiet. I think they're librarians or something.
There you go, goddess of librarians.
So what's the
All right.
plan?
What's the plan? Anybody want? Like, you can go up the main stairs, or you can go up to scaffolding. If anybody wants to go to the second or third floor.
I was going
Yeah,
back up to
time
the
to
third
check
floor,
it
but
out.
you guys are down here.
I mean, what time of day is it now? How long have we been here?
Let's call it 2.
2? Okay. What time should we head out? We want to leave before it gets too dark, right?
Soon.
Soon.
Well, I'll be right back. He runs out, climbs up the Hey, we're here. Climbs up the scaffolding to the third floor.
Okay. That would put you here.
If that's where the books are, Orden would come out and shake the scaffolding, make sure it was sturdy, and look up uncertainly and start climbing up after him.
Okay.
Like, scaffolding's on or the books are on the second floor.
Don't we have to go through the window to get to it though, or did I hear that wrong?
No, you can go on through the right there where he was clicking up to the stairs. The window's the only way to get into the third floor because everything's caved in.
Oh, got it.
And Mal has to make a save though.
All right.
A wisdom saving throw.
12.
Okay.
That's
creep
spooky.
in.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah, Mal, you find yourself checking out the stones upstairs, trying to figure out if there was some more parts of the clothing or something that had to do with that skeleton. But the third floor was a bust. You didn't see anything.
All right. Yeah. Rakir was already up here.
And that's a big. Now, and there's a big rope that goes all the way down. As you're up here, though, you can see that investigation, since you're up here as well.
Yes. 17.
And where's my chat gone? Thank you for saying it, because I don't know where my. This being able to pop the chat out is sort of cool, but then also annoying when you can't figure out where it went. Like, where is it gone? That's interesting. So I closed it. Now it won't come up again. I can't see it. I'm gonna have to refresh. 17. There has been work up. You weren't the first one, or either is Rakir the first person to be up here. So there's been someone doing some work up here. There's been a lot of pieces of machinery that have been taken out of here. There's a few pieces left, but you can tell by the scuffs on the floor and stuff that some heavy equipment was taken out.
Yeah.
And there's a big, what do you call it, scaffold, not scaffold, the crane off the side there that goes all the way to the ground.
Does the rope go all the way to the ground?
Otherwise, there's nothing else up on the rooftop. Second floor. Yeah, so Arden, you get up there. As soon as you get to the top of those stairs, where'd you go? Here you is. Top of the ladder there, you can see a busted open room with rotted books on one bookshelf there of this room. And it just books, tons of them, but they've all been open to the elements for 100 years, so they're pretty much mush. Got a few plants growing out of them.
Approximately how much time have we been here, and do we still have if we're trying to keep to our timeline? Orden doesn't want to.
Let's say, unless you guys do something crazy, we can get everything done by 2. Because this is going to take long.
I'd like to do a detect magic, but I either need the 10 minutes for the ritual or to burn a slot. Do we have time, guys, for another 10 minutes for that?
That is fine.
Yeah.
He'll do a detect magic and look around for anything that's intact, which would imply not common. See if he sees anything glowy in here.
No, there is. Oh, not here. No.
James?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Oh, you're like, voice is very small. Everyone else hear me?
Oh.
Yeah, I can hear him.
Oh. Do I need to reboot something?
Anyone?
Check, check.
I hear James just fine.
I think it might be you, Gordon.
Oh,
Are
it's
we
you.
all
Oh.
quiet?
Everybody's quiet to Matt.
Weird. Hold on. I'll be back.
Yep. Okay. Well, let's bounce over to Mal up on the top then. Rakir, what are you guys doing outside then? You guys are at the other house, or you want to walk up? Do you want to be at the tower too, or?
Yeah, I would have walked back to the tower at this
Okay.
point. I'm still not really doing anything, just kind of
Yeah. Everybody else just sort of playing, taking it easy.
yeah,
Yeah.
taking it easy. You know, we had a really rough morning.
Yeah, I hear it.
So, what do you want to do outside the tower? Do you want to stay on the bottom floor? Do you want to go up?
Yeah, I want to stay on the bottom floor and just sit.
Okay. You got it.
Mal's gonna take the stairs down when he comes down.
Okay. Yeah, the stairs are fine. They've been built and rebuilt recently. Someone's been putting some work in, putting the stone back in, and fixing some broken steps.
Okay.
You don't know if someone like Thorin could go up and down them, but you don't have a problem.
Check.
Check.
Hello.
Voicing check.
Hello, hello.
Greetings.
That was weird. Anything glowy up there, James?
Not in that room you're at.
He would wander through wherever he could get on the second floor and look around.
So the statues there's a couple things glowy about them. The statues themselves have something magical about them. Not surprising. Go ahead and make an Arcana roll as you see the young peasant woman in simple garbs bent over doing a shush motion to you in the statue there. She's not moving. You recognize her instantly as being Mistra, the goddess of magic, is the statue.
Ooh. Does she have any sort of alignment that I would know? Is she like evil goddess of magic?
No,
Good.
she's
neutral?
she's on the good side of things. She fights the evil ones. I think she's also she's like the daughter of the moon or something like that. And
statues glowy. What's the school of magic?
well, I'll look that up for you. The transmutation.
Okay. You said there were a couple things glowy about it?
Yes, so the statue itself, and then there's some sort of pictograms on it that have been damaged. Someone has gone through and hacked off at them, trying to break the glyphs, and has. And the glyphs are magical too.
So the statues and the glyphs on the statues?
Mm-hmm.
Anything else up here glowy?
That's about it. Otherwise, it's just books. This room also has been open to the elements, and the books in here are completely destroyed.
Bummer. He'll go down and inform everyone.
And then there's a hallway you can see.
Oh, yeah, well, he'll, oh, there's shut doors here.
Yeah, but they're not locked. Let me just open them.
He'd probably yell down for some backup so he doesn't open a door and...
Have something jump out and attack you.
Right.
What? You need help?
Who's going up to the second floor then? You can take the stairs. You don't have to take the ladder.
Try those stairs out.
Well, except for Thorin. Thorin should probably take the ladder.
Shout out over here. He knows now I can take the stairs faster than him.
Whoa, big guy. These might fall.
Like, you go up. You gotta sit down.
Okay.
Anything in glowy in these other rooms?
The same thing at each time. So there's no magic items and no magic books, but the statues in each room is identical situation where someone has carefully ruined the glyphs on there.
Can I tell what the glyph's purpose was?
Make another Arcana roll.
He's gonna guide himself first. Just because he feels like this is probably pretty important. And because it's not anybody else currently. 19.
19. No, you're not. No, nothing you can tell him.
Bummer.
Except for, again, transmutation magic.
I'll let Mal know what he saw in the transmutation and then ask about the third floor. Find out Mal saw something up there, right? More statues?
Nah, it was a bust. Third floor. Fourth floor, looks like someone moved a whole bunch of heavy machinery.
Gordon will say, show me, while that detect magic is still going on. Go up and see if anything's glowy on those floors. Starting with the third.
So you guys want to take the stairs? I guess you can that way.
Sure.
Up, third. Yeah. So the third floor, as you guys pass through that one, you can see a bit of a hallway and some light and stuff coming in from that way. And we'll put you here. There you are. And you may have seen this part, Mal. I don't know if you did or not, if you peeked up this far on the scaffolding. Because this part, you went too far, though. How did you even get through that wall?
I don't know. I just moved down.
That's cool.
No, he got to here and then went straight to the fourth floor.
I wonder if I don't have the walls restrict thing set. That would be funny. Makes it easier for us. I don't really care. Yep, I have it off. I'm going to leave it off then. Okay, we can go through the walls. That'll make it easier when you guys want to move around. I'll turn it on. Except for that
wander
one.
through.
That's rock. All right, so you get to where you are there. Sorry, we'll get you here. This whole area of the place is caved in. You can't get anywhere into that area. I should have stuck a wall there. That would have been smart.
Can you see past it?
Not down into the hallway. It's completely caved up. It would probably take a couple of, I think, let's see. Let me double check that. The workers have been working on it here. You can see some shovels and picks laying here and some shovels. A wheelbarrow with some rocks in it that has been tipped over to the side and the rocks spilled out. A shovel and a broom. And a couple of picks. And they're all just sort of thrown on the floor.
You guys are sloppy.
Make a quick investigation while I look this up. Oh, wow. It looks like someone ran out of here.
Oh,
That this guy, they dropped it and they ran away scared.
I bet you there's a boogeyman up here.
There's not any sort of opening up at the top of the pile or anything that Orton could see through to the hallway.
No, unfortunately not.
That's cool.
So it's just it would take you most of the afternoon to dig this thing out again.
And is there a way he could go out on the scaffolding and go around to see in there? No, that's caved in too, isn't it?
The scaffolding, as you think about it, you did see a window from the outside that must get into one of these rooms. One way.
Is there any opening to see through this here into what appears to be a bedroom? Where I'm getting, James, maybe this is easier. So detect magic has a 30-foot range. So
I got you saying.
See through and see if there's anything glowy or sparkly in there.
Okay, so you try to get close to that window. You think you could work your way over to the window with a climb roll. It's a little bit spooky, a bit more of Mal's area, but he said there was nothing up here already. You can get a glow of things, I guess you would say. Let's see if there is anything even to be glowing. The window is magical. There is some sort of enchantment placed on the window.
Gordon would not want to climb. That is not his forte, and he's in, armor and stuff. But he leans out as far as he can go, and he sees that glowy, and he says to Mal, he tells Mal that window is magic. I don't know what. Can you? Yeah, I guess. What school is it?
I have no idea. They didn't say. I'd have to go look it up. But there's like some sort of, what school is command? It's like that type of thing.
Is that like enchantment charm?
Probably. Let me look it up.
I'm looking right now.
Oh,
It
thank you.
is enchantment. Yep.
Okay, so there we go. It's enchanted. That makes that easy.
Yeah, I looked through before. There's nothing over there.
I wonder if that window is letting you see what they want you to see.
Oops.
They being who, I don't know, but
Should we go check it out? Come on. What? I got Featherfall, or Rappy does.
uh, that helps you, who won't need it anyway. I don't know if that's gonna help me.
Oh no. Rappy, can you catch Orden if he falls?
I'm double checking. I believe it's.
Rappy says, yeah, you can get 5 people.
As I thought. So double check before I made that statement. Thank you.
He does have that, but it's not prepared at this point.
Rappy's always got it prepared. Come on.
Yeah, the sword does actually answer out loudly. I would be proud to save Orden.
Aw, see, did you hear that?
He is a brave soul,
Aw,
and he's good to hide behind.
that's right.
Never been said. No one's ever told me I was good to hide behind before. He hangs up his bridges of the lion.
Gee.
You're a wonderful meat shield.
All right, he'll. I guess he'll try to climb out there.
Okay.
This is
You
terrifying.
can get an assist with Mal.
Yes.
He'll guide himself first.
Okay.
Can assist from Mal. Climbing is athletics, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, this is bad.
Do you have any negatives for being in armor? Don't think
I
so.
don't know about that, but I have a negative because I have a negative.
Because you suck.
Yep.
That's all right. 13 will do it. You don't. And is it advantage since you have a help?
It is. And
Yeah.
I'm
So
guided.
23, even better.
Nice.
Okay, not a problem. So yeah, Mal points out you were about to go down one way and it was going to be a lot harder, and he's like, oh, "Well, use that," and you go down another way. It's much easier. And you get to the end. There's a window there, and it's easy and it opened. Looks like Mal opened it recently. The dust has been pushed off it.
I'll try to
No, I
climb
didn't.
through.
Okay, give me a wisdom save.
Sure. Oh, if it is anything, I always forget this. If it's magical, magic of any sort, and I think it is, I should get advantage on this.
Nice.
I always forget that.
No,
And
I'm glad you made it then. So you feel something as you step in going in your head telling you, nothing here, go elsewhere, nothing here, look elsewhere. And as you sort of push past it, as you almost give into it, you needed a 20. Good job.
Nice.
And you push your way through this thing, and eventually you just sort of almost pop out the other end of this window.
He'll tap on the wall. Whap, whap, whap. Did you make it?
I did, I think. Look around.
It's a hallway mostly filled with rubble at the end there, but you can see that there is a doorway to the right that's clogged and a doorway to the left you could get through.
He'll, if Mal's behind him, he'll beckon him to follow if he can. And then he'll go forward and look into this room.
Are you going to try the same thing, Mal?
Yeah, Mal's going to grab a rope and try and swing over.
Okay. And give me, well, first the climb. I'm not worried about that, but.
Well, can you use athletics?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. It's a 10. All right.
All right.
And then the save to get through the window.
All right.
No.
Nothing here.
Here. This time you find yourself down at the bottom of the building, taking a leak somewhere down there.
All right. Yeah, the bone sprite will try and follow Orden.
I think the bone sprite is immune to charm and stuff.
Nope, it is not. It is.
Oh,
not.
it's not a real undead.
Not a real undead. Just flavored.
Okay, then give me a
Ooh,
roll.
what does that taste like?
Undead flavored? Ew.
All right, so 4, so it fails.
Yeah, it does the same thing then as well. It finds something else that's far more interesting to go do, like go watch Mal take a piss on the building.
Now here's the interesting thing. Question is, Because basically I'm looking through its eyes. When it starts to wander off, does Nasir realize what's going on? And Nasir can just be like, just go back there.
Give it an intelligence roll. Just to see if you can figure out what happened. Because it doesn't know what happened. So something happened. You don't know what it was, but something definitely stopped your sprite because you're trying to tell it follow Orden, and it goes elsewhere. What it was, not sure. If it's the building, the window, where.
He gets a little grumbly that Mal's not following him. He's like, "What caught his eye this time? Damn it!" And he'll walk up and look in this room.
So in here is a room that looks pretty much left exactly how the person that owned it left it when they walked out. There's some clothes still laying on the bed there as you walk in. There's some shoes on the ground. There's a little writing desk and a bookshelf. They didn't put a picture of a writing desk, but picture one over there by the bookshelf somewhere.
Anything glowy?
No, I'm sorry. There's like nothing magical in this damn building.
All right. Are the books intact?
The books are intact in this room.
How many are there? Like the whole bookshelf full, or just a
Pretty
scattering?
much. It's a whole bookshelf full. I will call it half a bookshelf. The other half is this little desk area.
He'll look and see what they appear to be about.
They have to do with what they've been talking to these guys doing. So it's whatever worlds of magic that would be. It's going to be the books on teaching you how to do this. So they collect protoplasm and build worlds.
Half a bookshelf worth of books. What's the approximate weight of that? Zordan's gonna start chucking them all into his bag of holding.
I'm going to call them 10 pounds a shelf.
Yeah, I think a book's a pound.
Yeah, and it's a half one. And these are older books too, though. The old thick paper, handwritten crap.
Bound in human skin.
Yeah, hopefully not with a face on it screaming. Yeah.
10 pounds a shelf. How many shelves?
6. No, that's too many. It's not that tall. 4.
So about 40 pounds of books.
Yeah.
He will start shoving them into the bag of holding, and then once they're in there, he'll check out the desk and see if there's anything interesting.
Yes, on the desk then is a journal, and it's open, and it's got a pen next to it, a little an oil. I mean, an inked what do you call it, little dropper things, ink container, and a quill. The written, yeah, inkwell. Thank you. I have a hard time with the words tonight. The journal's written in purple ink.
At a glance, can I tell whose journal it is?
That shouldn't be too hard. I imagine his name's probably like on the inside, like if Lost returned to, and it says his name on the inside, and he signed it as Thalavar.
Ooh,
Morton Thalavar. It says.
that will go into the bag of holding as well. Nothing glowy. No other books or anything that looks interesting or out of place?
No, you can make an investigation roll real quick.
Sure. Oh, I don't think you want the bag of holdings investigation.
That's cool if it has one.
It doesn't.
That might be a mimic, right? Just going, feed me. All right, you made it.
There's no guidance because I think detect magic is concentration, which would mean.
Oh, so 19's fine. So the only thing I want to mention is you don't find anything magical in there, but as you're putting it away, there was something that got you about the last page of the journal that was open. Something about the dates and the ink and stuff as you're putting it away. Yep. Looking at it quickly again.
It's something that tickles my. I'm gonna make a mental note of it, but I'm not gonna look at it until I'm around the others again.
I might take time to. All right. Other than that, looking around, the investigation also found there is an odd painting, I guess we'll call it, of a door underneath the bed on the floor.
Oh, okay. How much
But
does
it's
that weigh? Can I fit it in the bag?
No, it's painted onto the floor. I'm sorry, painted onto the stone floor. Very lifelike, but it's just painted on the stone floor. It is not magical. You did not pick anything up from it. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Yes, it is. It is definitely going to be magical. It's just not usable right now.
Dormant.
School of magic consistent with something that would be like a portal.
Exactly.
He will make a mental note of what it looks like, and actually he'll press to digitate a copy of it onto a sheet of paper so he can show
Sweet.
the rest of the group.
Okay.
Nice.
And then
It
if
only,
that's
only lasts an hour, but that give you enough time.
yeah, he'll go down and there's probably not much time left on this detect magic. He's gonna yell down for Mal. Hey, I'm gonna go up to the next floor. Well, I'm gonna climb out of here first. Hopefully, I'm going to the
Okay.
next floor.
So you can make the climb with advantage still because you've already done it once before. And it's only a 10. Just don't roll a couple of ones.
He is not guided because of the detect magic, so
I'm glad you rolled with advantage.
if it's with advantage, yes. If not,
Yes, you
then
are.
you legit got a 0.
So you got out there a moment. The first foot just slips, and you grab onto the edge, and you hear the sword Mal go, "I can't reach him from here." And
Ooh.
it goes to your head like, "What the hell? Why did I leave him?"
Start scrambling up the stairs. Or up the
And he's like,
scaffolding.
and then he gets his footing, and he makes it to the edge before you get up there.
I'm feeling
Hey,
bad. that
nice
this is all
catch.
Orden centered, guys. I feel like before we go to floor 4, maybe you should check in.
Yeah, no. So what do? Well, Rakir's taking a nap downstairs. Thorin, what would you like to do? Anything in town, or for the hour, or anything down here on the bottom floor? We're almost done, though, by the way.
Nothing in particular. No, I thought we kind of be fucking around,
Okay.
maybe. Going Calbeck down here.
Okay.
Just his name, kind of just pissing him off, asking him
Poke-
questions about random
poking
things.
at him. Sure. Eventually, he gets to the point he realizes you're goading him, trying to get something out of him, and he starts apologizing for having Merrick swallowed. It's like,
I read you learned your lesson.
sorry, holding it against me still, but
You and our friend, you eating the giant fucking frog. We only grabbed just a little, but you seem like an okay guy.
I wouldn't go that far.
Hey, it's true. It's trying to make it feel a little better.
He just
Shit.
he just smiles. He just smiles.
You went flat. It's a flat dollhouse, man. It's all yours.
Let's just say I'll always do what I promise, but never trust me if we don't have a deal.
Wait, doesn't make me feel very good about this. And then Thorne walks out the room. Okay. Walks off.
And you get a feeling when you're chatting with him, he was actually trying to probe you for more information about your dad and politics and father, and maybe trying to find some leverage there. And you're like, oh,
This fucking walks all in.
yeah. He's always got plans going. All right. Rakir, you still with us?
Yes, I'm still with you.
Oh, that was loud. Here. Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry, I'll just turn it down. Good. Okay. And anything else going on downstairs?
Not on my end, at least.
Okay. All right. Well, then nothing upstairs. Back upstairs real quick.
Orden will mount the stairs to the 4th floor and see if there's anything glowy up there before his spell ends.
Yes. So the last thing you find is that there was something magical up here, and it had to do with the machinery, that the pieces of machinery that are left, the little broken bits and baubles, have a magical glow about them. Serious artificer with a bunch of other magical, including some druidic and cleric thrown in.
After he sees that, Orden will go back down and fill the party in on everything he found, show him the picture of the door, and say he's pretty confident that's a portal of some kind. And that was on the 3rd floor, right, James?
Yes.
So that's our ticket to
Yeah, but there's
Homeboy.
nothing up there.
it wants you to think there's nothing up there. It wanted me to think that too, but I refused.
Oh. Well, I refuse too.
Good for you.
I don't know if we have time to explore it now, but I think this is something we should come back to once our current mission is taken up. Or do we want to spend a day here fucking with this? I feel like this isn't the priority, but it is interesting if nothing else.
I guess the question is, what do you feel the likelihood of Keledak figuring this out on his own before we can return and deal with it ourselves? Do we should deny this to him and spend an extra day at the risk of basically causing problems with other things?
Well, the third floor is not even available unless you're going through that window, right?
True.
Yeah, my guess
Or
is
clear out the rocks.
Okay. I mean, he doesn't seem like he'd catch on very fast. Hopefully not.
my
I
guess
know we have a time limit on our friends' lives.
my guess is they must know that there's a window there, and at some point someone must have tried to cross it, and much like Mal, found it wasn't worth it. This goes without saying, James, but obviously this conversation is happening away from
Yeah.
Teledex.
Yes, I got that. Yeah. He's just standing there nodding his head wisely. Yeah.
And Orden feels kind of vexed, and he's like, as much as I don't want him to find this, I do feel obligated to fulfill the obligation to the university first. Unless you all feel very strongly otherwise.
So sure.
I agree. Wait, we can come back to this.
We could go see what happens when we get to the Crossroads Keep, and then perhaps come back here immediately, depending on what happens there. But
They
also,
might be connected.
perhaps unlikely, but perhaps.
Okay, so it's about 2:00. What do you guys want to do?
Currently, keep in mind there's a few things currently that are pressing us for time. One is obviously the going to the Crossroads Keep to deal with the ambush. Two is going to that one small town with the windmill to find out what the voice below is planning before things become too dire. And three is gathering funds in order to kickstart the thing that we will need for later. Those are the three most pressing things we have to deal with. But and are we going to add this as a fourth one onto the list? Because from what it sounds like it has not been solved in many a year. However, Keldek does seem like he has much experience and could figure it out.
I don't want him to figure it out before we can get back here, but I do feel an obligation to fulfill our obligation to the university. That is our employer.
Well, let's go save those mooks and then come back and see if we can demi plane.
I would agree with this.
Yep, I like it. That said, this goes without saying, but with this here, this is going to make this place a lot more interesting to the university. So if we do want to dabble our fingers in the reconstruction or ally ourselves with this town, that's something we could probably figure out, because the university has, I wouldn't say endless resources, but enough that they could definitely devote a lot to help in the rebuilding of this town.
Right.
Sounds good to me.
Well, let's head on out.
In other news, at some point while we're traveling, Rakir, Orden would approach you and chit chat about blacksmithing stuff, and then start outlining he's got a plan he'd like to try and build a magic item, and wonders if you would help him if and when we have the downtime to do that.
Bummer's muted
whoops.
again. There he is.
Yeah, whoops. I was saying, well, what item would it be?
This has to go through James. I haven't even told him, but I have an idea for a gauntlet of unbreakable grasp. It's bonus action, speak the gauntlet's command word while holding an object, and it essentially locks it into place so you can't drop it.
Oh, fun.
Nothing major, simple. But yeah,
So like the unmovable bar one.
But it just be
Used
in your
in
hand.
combat.
You know? And I figure that the unmovable bar is a common object, so this wouldn't be. It'd be plausible he could potentially make it with as a first,
Yeah, I think
attempt.
it'd be fun.
Oh, it's uncommon. The bar is. I thought it was common.
Movable rod. Major.
Yeah.
I think it's might be major or minor uncommon.
It's pretty. Yeah, it's got some
alright.
pretty cool, powerful uses people have for it.
Yeah.
So,
Either way,
right.
that's James. We can talk about that.
Yeah.
another time.
Are you going to be
before
heading
we're
out of
done-
town now, or what?
Yeah, before we're done, Orden would also go take that journal to Nasir and say there's something weird about the dates. I didn't trust looking at it by myself, but I think we should take a look as we're going down the road just to see what that is.
All right then. We can review it in the evening after we make camp. Yes.
I like it.
All right. Any supplies or anything you want to try to rustle up in this town?
Do we need any more food, party? As a group.
I've never actually
Since we
worried
do not-
about it before.
I
since we
mark
do not-
rations.
Since we do not know how long we'll be on the road, I do not think it would be a bad idea if they can spare them.
So yes, the settlers are more than happy to help you put together some food and stuff, and they've got plenty because they brought their own. They know how long it'd be to forage, so they're able to set you guys up for a week worth of rations for 4 people, or not rations, but a week worth of food.
Is there any way we can find like possibly a carriage or a faster way to travel?
Oh, I mean, well, you guys. Oh, that's right. You had horses, but you couldn't bring them.
Yeah, we came on boats.
Orden has 9 rations right now. Sounds like it's okay to bump that number to 15. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think about the horses in this town.
I know they were just raided, so I know it's
Yeah,
fine.
I know, but the people who raided them are all dead, so there might be
That's
horses
true.
there.
That's true.
So yes, I think you can scramble. If you guys take an extra hour and get out at 3 instead of 2, you can have horses for everybody. Nothing fancy, just horses. But
Perfect. Does
Everybody-
Mal want one of his own, or does he want to ride with Orden? Because Orden can do his little Phantom Steed, Thing.
I'll ride on the Phantom Steed.
his giant boar.
okay,
Let's
the
go,
2 little
Vicky.
guys on a giant pig.
Yeah.
There's nobody getting it.
All right, well let's switch his maps then.
It's a fast pig, though. It's like a
Hi-ho,
greasy
bacon.
pig.
Away.
Yeah, it's hauling ass.
And the funny thing is, Orden and Mal together probably weigh far less than Thorin or Meta either, or Arakir either.
Oh, probably most definitely. They found last time I checked, it was like 400 and something, like 480.
480 is what you weigh. Ouch.
Yeah, he's like 480 with his plate mill and all that shit on. He's fucking quite heavy.
Okay.
Orden is 150 pounds total.
I mean, yeah,
Gear and
Thorin
weight.
doubles both you guys.
Isn't Orden like himself, just like only 40 pounds?
45, yeah.
So he's
He's
like
a
an
little-
Oh
ant.
yeah, plate armor.
He's like an ant. He's like carrying several times his own weight.
That's hilarious.
Oh, heading out of town at around 3. It doesn't take long before you get to the road that splits off and heads to Saltmarsh. The road you're on now is the great, what is this thing called? The high road, and it's actually a cobblestone road from this point on forward to up to Neverwinter, well traveled, and heads on off into the north. Light forest to the sides, the Sword Mountains to your right. You think, according to maps, it's like 50 miles or so, but at least you have horses now.
And where's the Tribor Trail? I'm assuming this is the crossroads between the high road and the Tribor.
So the map, the little inset map, that's to the south, so we can't see it. So yes, the place you're going at then is exactly what you said. It's the crossroads between here and the Tribor Trail.
So where's the Tribor Trail? I guess
It's not even on this map. I'm going to put
Okay,
one on.
gotcha,
I'll
gotcha.
doodle. So it sort of just wraps and oops, wrong color, but I'll delete it out, and then heads on out and eventually meets up with the long road that goes from Waterdeep all the way on up to the other great cities of the north.
Okay. So so purple is Tribor.
Yeah, I just picked
Okay.
the wrong color.
So this here is the Crossroads Keep then. Gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay. Oh wow, we're actually relatively close to Neverwinter.
Yeah, about halfway.
A dumb question, but can you copy a spell into your spell book from a scroll during a long rest, or does it take longer than that? Oh, I should know the answer. Never mind.
You go look it up.
Yep. I'm
Do the
gonna go
math. All right, so the first day goes by pretty quietly. Who wants to roll some d12s for me? For the chance of
roll.
random encounters for the... Okay, so yeah, the day goes by pretty easy. And then roll 2 for the night. All right. And I'm using random numbers that I pick before you roll, so that way you don't know how good your roll is. And I guess we need shifts of who's on what shift and all of that. Any preparations you want to make for the evenings?
Do we want to do basically like a SOP, standard operating procedure for like marching order, and everything else, right?
Yeah.
I'd like that.
Yeah.
So what order? What's going to be the standard order for basically our watches? We need 4 watches, and none of us are elves. So
Well,
I
if
will take the third shift.
I guess I'm gonna take the second.
All right.
I'll take whatever nobody wants. I don't have a particular preference.
all right, how about you? How about you and your familiar take the last one?
I like it. And I think Gary can stay awake through most of the. Oh no, because he's still an owl for all intents and purposes. So I guess he would need to sleep.
Yeah, unless he's sleeping during the day.
Right. Which we can do. I've just never really thought about it until now, actually.
Yeah, didn't think of it either.
Yeah.
It would take
Alright.
8 hours to scribe. It's a 4th level spell, but I just realized Orden has a spell scroll of Leoman's Chest, and I was thinking, like, one casting of it, that's not going to help. Oh, derp, I'm a wizard. Why don't I just copy the spell?
And learn that one.
I
Is it a
can do
ritual
this
spell? Or...
forever.
I think not. No, it doesn't look like it. And the chest itself has to be worth 5,000 gold. So, and the replica has to be worth 50 gold. So it's going to be a minute before you can afford to do it. But it is a pretty handy little deal.
Expensive. Like I took Legend Lore, but I still can't cast it because I have to get the expensive components, and that would be extremely useful in researching like things like this tome full of ciphers or this magic building, which we need more information on.
This Leoman's chest, my thought is we can store all of our dragon orbs there, and it leaves them completely out of reach of everyone as long as they don't know I have this little replica chest.
As long as you don't die.
Right. then everybody's screwed.
All right, so watches are going to be first will be Nasir and Rakir, second will be Thorin and Tinkerbone, third will be Mal and Squeaky, and I guess
Sam and Rappy.
Did my thing go through?
what's your thing?
Hold on 1 second.
And last will be Orden and Gary. So at least there's basically no matter who gets woken up, at least the armor people have a chance of at least one person in armor being fully dressed.
Okay.
Nice.
That was 3 watches for the night. Is that what you said, right?
4.
4. Oh, okay.
It's like part of Mal's duty in waking Orden up is to wake him up and help him get his armor on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will probably not be possible. If we're being attacked as soon as we wake up, then nobody's getting armor on. Like shields, maybe.
No, I know. I'm like when Mal woke Orden up, Orden would probably say, "Hey, take 5 minutes or 10 minutes or however long,
Rise
and
and
help me get my stuff on."
That's something we need to craft. We need to craft sleepable armor. Armor you can sleep
Yeah, right.
in. Or it's comfortable to sleep in.
It's cushions on the inside.
There is armor I think it's common or maybe it's uncommon, but that essentially lets you either doff it for free or don it for free.
Oh, cast off armor.
Yeah, Doff.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stripper stuff.
I'm just gonna stuff it as armor full of feathers.
Chicken brown cow.
So anyway, what preparations are you guys taking, like Nasir and Rakir, for the first watch? What type of preparations are you taking?
I suppose the big thing with me and Nasir would be light, right?
Yeah, pretty
Uh,
much.
Oh yeah, flooding the area with light since you don't see.
Yeah, so I have my lantern that I can hang on myself, but I might want to make sure,
Yeah,
What's the
campfire.
lantern do again?
The lantern reveals things that are invisible.
What? I want to toss it up anyway. See what else it does.
Obviously, Leo's hut would be up for sure, James.
Oh, okay.
Orden would only be able to watch from inside the hut, which is fine. Anybody else can come and go on their watches. If they want.
Oh, this might be a pretty quiet night then. Is everybody just hanging out inside the hut doing their watches, or do you want to be outside it, or?
James, how do I toss an item up?
I'm gonna wander around while he does his watch.
I think on the characters. Let me bring one up.
Good news is Gary can be outside the dome. I just realized that, and he can see through Gary's eyes. That's pretty handy.
I'll work around almost.
Orden's perception isn't much to write home about, but Gary gets advantage on his hearing and sight ones, which is good.
How do you pop it up there?
Yeah, I've never had to pop an item up.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that too. Going, it's not actually doing what I thought it would do. There's no way to actually. There's no like little eye. What's that little? That's just to bring up the information. No idea. I'll look it up though. On the character sheet, anybody know how to do that to make it to break an item? Like if you wanted to have your backpack show up in the chat.
You can copy and paste is how
Yeah.
you
Okay. That's what I thought.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
All
you
right then.
mean from your character sheet?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know.
James,
There
if
we go.
you looked up the item, opened it up for the DM, I think there's a share with players.
Yeah, I could do that too. I'll do that.
I don't think we can do it though. I'm not even 100% sure on items there is a share with players button, but I feel like I remember there being one.
All right. Well, let's go for some perception checks on the first shift then. Sun starts going down. Everybody starts settling down. Rakir and Nasir start setting up lights. However, how are you lighting the place up anyway? Torches or
Campfire.
a campfire?
Yeah.
Okay, setting up multiple campfires or just one or?
Yeah, and I forget. I forget. Rakir, do you have actual proficiency or actually good at perception?
No.
Okay, neither am I.
I do
So
have dark yeah, I do have dark vision though. So
Yes.
Lantern of Reeling plus dark vision.
okay, yep. And you see that during the night then. All right, good.
I guess I need to pick a map.
You need a map, James.
Actually works out strangely well. So the first two watches would want the fires, but then they'd burn down, and Mal and Orden both have and our familiars all have dark vision, so we wouldn't need them or probably want them.
Keep in mind that if anything did happen, then basically the people who basically need the fire when they get up would get up in the complete darkness, so that wouldn't be particularly useful if we didn't fight.
I'm just
I was
gonna
more
wait
just
to
saying
sort
that-
around.
I was more just saying that for you, because I think you've mentioned the dark vision thing before.
All right.
I have dark vision.
Orden wouldn't be able to leave the hut to tend the fires during his watch, but that's at the very end. Maybe not as impactful that way.
All right. I guess this is the map we'll use. This not a great campsite map, but let me see if I have a better one. Sorry. Random encounters, Suddenly it's like, oh, this was so much easier back in the day on the tabletop. Let me just draw it on this little vinyl map.
Yep.
Now I'm. Oh, let's use this one instead. This one's better. This one has a place that looks like a campsite.
We're gonna have to
Alright.
start a reservoir of maps.
Yeah, I have a collection of 6 forest generic maps. And then let me
Got
just throw.
hundreds.
So if it
I've been
takes
playing with a with one of the Fallout pen and paper things recently, and so we just got a bunch of tokens for that now.
if it takes 8 hours to scribe a spell into your book, can you do it in 2-hour increments, or do you have to do it all in one swoop?
Oh. I couldn't imagine why you would have to do it all. Maybe because it's magical. I don't know. Does anybody know any raw rolls on that one? I can't imagine you would have to worry about it, but how big are horses? 2 squares? Yeah. So yeah, if you want to chip away, I'll look into it and make sure there's nothing wrong. But how about we say you start trying to do that?
When our long rest is what, 8 hours, 9 hours, and 6 of that'll be sleeping.
Yeah.
And
So as
then
you were saying, chip it away every night.
watch. His watch will be 2. Well, he wouldn't want to do it during his watch, so maybe he really wouldn't have time. If we did a 9-hour rest, I suppose he could do it for an hour. That's not a priority though.
All right, go ahead and put yourself where you want to be around this little campfire. Normally this would be a cave, but we're just going to call it a cliff behind you.
Me too.
Oh, I'll just make it a vision map for everybody, but consider that it's nighttime. And it says it's on. I love that.
I don't even see my token. Am I in the right layer, maybe?
Oh, that could be it. Maybe I didn't bring you all over to this map. That would help. Nope. Says player map. Forest cave.
Did you
And
copy existing tokens and paste
no,
it
I
here?
dragged him back out again. Does no one have any vision?
No,
No, you're right. I don't see any there at all. All right, let me just go back into the setting. Oh, I keep doing this. Wrong goddamn layer for the tokens.
There we go.
All right.
Haha.
Oh shit! I totally forgot something.
What's that?
That's right. Yeah. Okay. You look over and you see that basically you see that Nasir now has basically slitted cat's eyes.
Oh, so you can see at night.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Ew.
I've forgotten that was basically part of the Circle of the Fae.
All right.
well then, Nasir, at some point, do you mention this at all?
I mean, he doesn't really mention it, but he just he's just obviously looking around past the campfire, seeing in the dark, and you see his eyes glow green like a cat.
Nasir, can you see in the dark?
For now. He taps his circlet.
Ah,
Because you see him also temporarily grow like gills and webbed fingers and feet too.
Very cool. Is this during the first watch, James?
Yes. So I'm just like, you guys are just starting to fall asleep, just getting comfortable.
I'm gonna put that icon on to remind myself I am not wearing armor. Orden is not wearing armor right now.
Guess I should put this in the middle. Well, probably not, because you have to stand in the middle of the fire to cast it. I'll put it there.
Would we want the fire inside the hut though? Because then
Oh,
you're
yeah.
not gonna the light wouldn't go.
well, we're not
shine
really.
on the outside.
Turns out we didn't really need to even be concerned about it.
I think Thorin is the only one that doesn't have dark vision, but he'll be on with Tinkerbone, who I'm betting does.
Yeah, he also has a sword that sheds light, so he can just wave that around.
Yeah,
And a glow stick.
actually, Tinkerbone does not. That's
Oh,
Okay.
That's one big downside.
All right, well, then let's do this thing right. Since we've done all this work of putting these camp lights and everything on. Bright light on for campfire. We'll call it a 30 and 30. It's a bright one. And Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh man.
Well, I always want to use the color, but it always looks awful.
It's like-
Yeah, colored light usually makes everything look a
Yellow.
little bit weird.
That's a little better.
Yeah,
All right.
you set it to white.
It's one of the weird off yellows, and
Okay, cool.
sort of a pastel. And then let me change the dynamic lighting off of daylight mode, since it's no longer daylight. Now it's night.
Okay.
Ooh, that's sort of pretty. Okay.
do we have our individual eyes too?
Do you not see anything?
No, I do.
Okay. Oh, and you mean your
Yeah, I think Nasir should have a 60 feet of a nocturnal.
Yeah,
Okay.
I said 20.
Do you have it or no? I know Nasir doesn't, but I'll put it on there right now. At least we'll have it all set up for next time.
Yeah, I think so.
Speaking of which, okay, good. I'm going to California next month, but it's not the week we game, so nice.
Where are you going?
I'm gonna go see Dad. Use my airline miles before they expire on me.
Nice.
It's a good idea.
How much Mal did you say you had? I think I'm on Mal.
120.
Nope, I'm on. And this year you're the same, or you at 60?
60 feet of dark vision.
Night vision. Why isn't that the set?
We have to save. I think we have to save the tokens that are
Yeah, I'm
separate.
surprised we haven't done it before today. I mean, we've had
Yeah.
this helmet for quite a while. All right, is everybody working?
Yes,
I
sir.
think so.
Yes.
Sweet.
I'm at.
All right, so
Yeah.
the evening, people start settling down, stripping out of your armor, getting comfortable for the night, and it can't be more than, let's call dark hit about, summer, so it's about 7 o'clock or so. And by about 8 o'clock, and I think I saw the perception check earlier. It was
17 for me.
17 for Nasir.
5 for me.
It wasn't you. I'm sorry. So you were looking the wrong way. So yes, Nasir, then you start hearing noises out there. You hear some growling and steps like dogs or wolves or something, which isn't a big deal because you guys are all in there. But then you start hearing a few of them, and then it starts sounding like quite a few of them out there, like you're
Oh.
being circled around.
Well, as soon as since we can't get the horses in here, we have to.
Yeah.
So as soon as I hear them, I'm going to start going around, being like, "Hey, wake up!" Just sort of tapping everyone and getting everyone basically awake. Come on, up! There's wolves, maybe the big ones.
Big ones. Hold on. I'll kind of peek my head out of the hut.
No, you don't have to. By the way, you can see out of the hut.
Yeah, I can see out of the hut.
This
And
one's done.
yeah, I'll just look around for him.
You
Make
can
another
see out.
perception.
But other stuff can't see in, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Mal will look for.
Are you sure, Nasir? I can't
It's-
see anything.
Can't see a damn thing. It's dark out there, and the campfires makes it even worse.
I can hear them. And Nasir is actually going to go.
Don't want to give a whack attitude.
After he wakes everyone up, Nasir is going to go basically sort of corral the horses together and basically surround them with a silent image.
Who's she gonna behind us?
Oh shoot, I lost it.
Knowing that it's probably going to be more harm than good, Orden says, "I'm going to drop the dome unless someone tells me otherwise."
All right.
Oh, because you have to stay inside it, and you don't. That means you don't get to play.
But from the sound of your voice, Adam, it sounds like you don't. You can say no, don't. That was just my first instinct,
All right.
because otherwise I'd just be watching, which is okay if that's what we want. If we want a safe space.
I think we need it. I think we need everyone here to dissuade them from attacking if they will be.
Agreed.
If it wasn't for their horses, I think we would have no problem.
Right.
This is why adventurers never have horses.
Is that it? Sorry. I need to work on my ad lib. Oh. Okay, so Adam, you rush on over to the horses after everybody gets up. Anybody going with them?
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I'll cover his right side. Stay close.
Let's get him back to the wall.
Go ahead and make perception rolls now that you're outside the dome and got your back to the fire.
17.
Should I do it again?
Yeah, go for it. You're a completely different location.
Oh my god.
It's getting worse.
It's pretty talented.
You gotta lift that visor every once in a while.
Yeah, it's the problem. The visor's on backwards.
Yeah.
I hate when that happens.
Or
So,
will heft his staff and drop the dome. He's again standing in his nightshirt.
as you're there standing in your tight shirt about to drop the dome, you start hearing this yipping sound outside. It's yip, 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 and it's coming from all over the place. This weird little yipping, barking noises.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make your nature rolls if you want.
And the was basically trying to corral the horses into basically like a 15 by 15 area, getting them all kind of close together, and then basically dropping a silent image on them to basically sort of surround them. Essentially, what is basically a little mini fortress.
Do you want nature rolls from all of us, or only those with proficiency?
The three of the people that are outside: Mal, Rakir, Nasir. Oh, Nasir. You've heard of these. You've never actually ever seen one before in your life, but you've heard about them as in like horror stories of people, and you can't remember the common name for them, but it's a type of dog that can teleport in and out of the ethereal plane.
All right. I believe that they're wink dogs.
Winkies?
Yes, wink dogs. They wink.
Oh.
And then you think there's
very bad.
a lot of them by the sound of the barking.
So be prepared for them to wink at you from any direction.
Sorry, to
The
wink.
direction winking.
Yes, multi-directional winking.
This does not sound very dangerous.
You would think that, wouldn't you? That's what they get you.
And then the
How do
yipping
they
starts
move?
getting louder and louder, and it's starting to sound like a mob. They're going everywhere around you.
They teleport. Look here, help me. Do we manage to get all the horses actually into the illusion or no?
Give me an animal handling.
All right. So Rakir, you helping me?
Yeah.
Oh, 13.
Mal's scanning around.
One's not in.
I'm not sure you want my help though, Nasir. Remember the last time I tried handling these horses?
Oh, be better. We'll do this together.
So Mal,
Exactly.
you start seeing these dogs running around through the darkness out there in the edge, and you get the idea what he's talking about because since you can see in the ethereal, you see them popping into the ethereal and running through a tree and running through rocks and popping out the other side. And
They can go to the ethereal, like we did with that potion. Oh boy, it's gonna suck. All right, guys, I can see them, but I'll start calling out when I can.
Hey, just want to verify the raw here. I can drop concentration at any time, and it costs nothing. Correct.
correct. Yeah, I believe that is true. I heard that too.
Yep.
I guess
You could,
Even on other
Does
people's turns.
right. That's what I thought. So it doesn't behoove me to drop the dome now. So he would be standing in the dome in his nightshirt with his staff, looking around frantically.
Dome is in concentration.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. It pops as soon as you step out of it, though.
That's right.
So as soon as you need to do something, you can just walk out and it goes away.
Can't imagine it'd need to counterspell, but just in case, he'll step out and back in, so it goes away. No, I'm not in armor. That's dumb. That's fine. It's gonna stay in there for now.
all right.
Is
If
the
I
dome
roll a
going to
really-
the ethereal plane?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Hearing all this yipping though, Thorn is gonna. It sucks at it, but he's gonna try to intimidate everything around him. He's just gonna yell out like a giant ass roar, get as deep as he can.
Spells and other magical effects can't extend through the dome or be cast through it. I would assume the blinking is a magical effect, right?
Yes,
Uh,
I would guess so. I
in
mean, it's
the
an
ethereal
animal.
plane.
It's weird because it effectively blocks line of effect to anything. The problem is that basically they're effectively leaving off plane and then coming into
Coming
plane.
back.
Right.
Yeah, so basically if they were teleporting, like just teleporting, they couldn't get through it. If they're just leaving plane and then re-entering plane, that's a little bit different.
Hey James.
Hmm?
If
Yes.
I cannot get this horse into the silent image, I'm going to mount it.
That works.
Say that again.
If I can't get this horse to go back into the silent image, I'm going
Ah!
to mount it.
I got you. So, how do you want to? Do you want to do another handling? Do you want to just pick the damn thing up and move it over?
I think it might move away if I just pick it up and move it over. So, I'll attempt another handling.
Fucking manhandle it.
They cannot pass through, at least according to what I'm reading here, and that makes plausible sense to me.
There's huge discussions on it. Yeah, it's like, oh crap, we found some rule area.
Well, this is what convinced me. The DMG says solid objects on the overlapping plane don't hamper the movement of a creature in the border ethereal. The exceptions are certain magical effects, including anything made of magical force. And the tiny hut says a 10-foot radius
works for
above the
me.
dome of force.
Okay.
But we'll do some more research in between because it's 8 o'clock.
Sure.
So, the sounds start moving everywhere. You're about to drop the dome. How far can you see out, guys?
I see an awful lot of them.
Yeah, I've only got half my vision. I could see probably 15,
I can see 9.
Yeah.
20.
Random encounters suck
You know these motherfuckers.
because there's no
Oh.
CR involved. It's just roll the damn dice.
The seer, how tough are these things?
What? I don't know. They look like dogs.
We'll
Okay,
take
there's
them
a
down
lot
one
of
group at a time. Charge this south one with me, Thorn.
So I'm going to roll initiative. We'll do initiative. We'll save it till next time. Let's go ahead and just have fun. I'm going to roll for one of each group. And then we'll use the special rules for groups.
Oh, yeah.
15 individual rolls.
Do you
Yeah, I
actually,
ain't doing individual rules now.
what you can actually do is you can basically click like a marker on it. Let me just put a number on it. So basically, you have all the ones in group 1, level 1, all the ones in group 2, level 2, to kind of keep them together, even if they separate.
Good call. I'll go back and organize that between shifts then.
Or if you're really fancy, you can actually make specific, basically, token markers that are actually numbers or letters to differentiate them.
Oh, I have those,
Or were you
but they're
doing-
not assigned. Yeah, might as well. So we'll have it all set up.
Okay, James, do I get this horse back?
Yes. I don't know if it'll make a difference, but you work your horse back in there with that, and you get the horse pushed into the illusion. As the dogs all begin to howl around you, and
Yeah, if he was having trouble, with that, Nasir would basically let basically spell the illusion so he can get the horse into space and recast it since it's effectively free.
Oh.
Yeah, no need to try and push the horse through the seemingly solid wall.
Oh, we got it.
everybody on the board? They're so far down the scroll.
Is each of those a group or an individual?
Yeah, that's a group.
Okay.
Again, random counters suck.
I will just say that basically the action economy is extremely important in 5e.
So we will worry about what you guys are going to do if you're going to fight them, deal with it, whatever.
Because when you say each one's a group, you don't mean each token is a group, right?
No, I just mean I rolled for one guy out of each group of them.
So basically, whatever's on the initiative tracker is times 3 at least.
At least.
Banish me.
Get out of here.
Hey.
Yeah, it might be time to
That's
pop,
what happens.
might be time to pop out Aura of Life again.
So I will. Yes, let's
The
do some
Alchemist.
reading on the tiny hut and blink dogs and find out what the ruling is. This might be real easy and just lose the horses, or maybe not. Maybe they might get away with it.
It looks like I'm high enough in the turn order. It shouldn't matter unless one of those first few can get through it, which is possible. But after that, like, I'm not going to spend a round inside the hut, you know.
Yeah, I got you on that one. No, not unless it's your only way to survive. All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you for a fun evening of role playing.
Yeah, thank you, man. That
Yeah,
was
thank
fun.
you,
Right,
bud.
sir. Thank you.
Same.
Games.
And I guess I will see you all in a couple of weeks.
All
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
Sure.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
So
Thank you very
perfect.
All
much.
right, you
Man, thank you.
guys take it easy. Stay safe.
Hey, let's start thinking
Okay.
about a night we can stay later too. Maybe we can plan a long night. Let me know
Summertime
when.
I can do anytime.
Are you? Because I know you're schooling and house guest stuff. So, but
We
let's
only
look at
got-
it.
The only dates will be 18th to the 1st of July. That's when I. Oh no, actually, the 21st is a. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Thinking like Mal
Yeah.
now.
I know.
I should be totally up for it anytime. I'm a night owl
And
anyway.
so let me know.
Okay, maybe we can look at the 7th and see about it.
Cool.
Okay,
Heck
that'll give me
yes.
time. Then I'll plan for that. Then we'll talk about it later. All right, I'll just make sure I have enough content to get us going for 5 hours or something.
All right.
All right,
Hey, guys,
thank you,
take it
guys.
easy. Stay safe again.
Peace.
All right, see you fellas.
Night all.